Never trust a trailer.
Hello, and welcome to the Saladcast. On Sunday, the 9th of August, 2026. I'm your host, Dan Train. Joining me today, Zachary Burgess.
Seems like it's only been a week.
And Robert Kemp.
Truth.
Also, not precisely a week.
Right, well, like a week and 2 days.
Yes, slightly longer than a week.
Yeah. But we're back. Because we're
back like we never left because we didn't. Not between the last podcast and this one. We left for like an extra week between the previous two podcasts.
Sure. But we've never left, man. We've never left. We're always on.
No, just your power. You weren't always on. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Now resolved.
Well, yeah. You say it's now resolved. Now there's like a billion more Anglian water reports around my house because they seem incapable of fixing anything, and they've actually closed the road.
Yeah,
again nearby just because of water leaks. It's like the pipe saga never ends.
No, as we always said, that every time we've talked about it on the podcast related to this road, it's like they come in and try and fix one thing, but the fact that they're trying to fix one thing causes pressure variation, which breaks several other things in the facility.
Yeah, and now they're back where they started, pretty much. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know.
Man.
I don't know what they're doing, but
they need to hold on to the water at the moment.
Yeah,
There's not much of it around. It's not coming out of the sky.
Well, unless it, like, the leak is, like, making the ground slightly happier around it, in which case, some benefit.
I don't think we care about the ground, though. We care about humans at the moment.
I don't know, the level of brown around me is getting a bit much. I was like I drove to Yarmouth yesterday, and it dawned on me like halfway through the drive that it's just like, oh, I don't even register that the grass isn't green. Like the yellow has we've had the yellow grass for so long this summer that it's just like, yeah, that's
You're just used to living in a desert biome now.
Yeah. Exactly. It just doesn't register, but that's not the colour it's supposed to be.
It's all Metroid Prime hub world, as far as the eye can see.
Wow, the green crystals might spice it up a bit.
Yeah, that would help.
It's a podcast about video games. We got there early this time.
So the last 3 or 4 times I've walked down here, because it's been so dry, I've been going across the fields rather than the roads. Also, because it's hot, stay off the tarmac. Walk through the fields instead.
Yeah, makes sense.
But, like, every time I come down and cross the bridge over the river, it's like, you can tell it hasn't rained at all because the same garbage is still at the same place in the river because it's not flowing.
Hasn't washed downstream.
Is it accumulating or just staying?
No, it's staying exactly where it's been. I mean, I guess no one else is throwing more in. Oh, yeah. but the garbage that was already thrown in has stayed in the exact place for like a month or 2 months at this point, probably.
I guess the problem is it's like, I can't. If the people that were throwing stuff in the river because they thought it would hide the evidence or whatever, it's like, it's not performing that role anymore.
Is it revealing stuff that...
No, because it's not really. It's because of the way the weir works and right next to where we live. It's just like it stays at the exact same height. It's just like it limits how much water goes downstream. So this bit of the river is always more or less exactly the same height, unless it gets really bad. And because I've been walking across the fields and not past the mill, I don't know how much water is actually going down there. Well, I suppose I walked back over there on the way back at night, but. I don't notice as much.
It's been a few weeks since I've walked around the lake, so like I bet that's like the back bits in particular. They're probably like absolutely bone dry because they did that a few years back.
Did what a few years back?
Or just drained. There was just
drained,
evaporated or whatever. Like it's just no. There are parts of Needham Lake where there's no lake.
Right. It's not actually used as like a reservoir or anything.
No,
I think it's just purely... Yeah. No, okay.
I mean, it will be on...
The ones near me are actually reservoirs, or at least one of them is. You can see what the stage of it is. Probably quite low.
I mean, I guess there's Alton Water near us that is a reservoir, right?
Where the actual water going through the pipes comes from, presumably.
Yes. One would
assume to go through the pipes.
Yeah. Probably beachy right now. The summer venue for all.
The seaside when you can go and hang out next to the dry banks of a
pretty sure you would reservoir.
No. With wood sticking out of the ground. Anyway, I got a mystery to solve. And this is a good one. I meant to bring it up last week, but I forgot about it.
So it's clearly very important.
Well, yeah, it's more that the mystery is unsolved, but like, I'm going to have to interrogate you a little bit, Zach, here, and I'm not going to explain why at first. Like, step number 1. When I last gave you a lift in my car a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
did you notice anything strange about the passenger side of the car?
Not really.
Anything at all? Okay. Question number 2. Are you missing a steak knife?
No.
What?
So here comes the mystery. Like, the other week, Gnome was sat in the passenger side of my car, and noticed there was a steak knife in the passenger in the door bin on the passenger side of my car, and neither of us have any idea where that thing came from. So
is this not the
I'm just sort of weirdly backtracking and be like, who's been in my car that may have left a steak knife behind?
Is this not the more intense version of the person who kept hiding tiny animals around your house?
Oh, I mean, that's kind of mostly solved, but yes, there was that mystery.
Maybe they upgraded.
Because we eventually remembered who had done it before to a friend of ours' car. Like, there was tiny animals in the wing mirror.
They've just got more intense about it. Now it's knives.
Now it's knives, yeah. It's so strange. But yeah, the problem is like, Gnome was sort of like, started looking at me going, where have you been?
Somewhere that you would require a steak knife.
That's Carter. That's suspicious. And it's like, when do I sit in the passenger seat of my own goddamn car? Like, never. Yeah. So the mystery is on. So someone planned to murder me, but didn't go through with it.
So what was the solution with the tiny animals? Was that
we
help on the shelf type thing?
We had friends over for a games night a while back, and a few weeks ago, and yeah, these little tiny centimeter by centimeter animals just started popping up on we just kept finding them the next day around the house, like on windowsills and on top of picture frames and things. They stuck a bunch of them around the house. And it's we figured out who eventually, because I remember they stuck them to a friend's car at one point.
This is going to be a bit of a harsh one, but do they just not like Miles? Let's just impregnate this house with choking hazards.
Well, I mean, I guess he's old enough to be past the 36-month warning period for putting stuff in your mouth. I mean, Gnome is still a little bit worried that he might put a 5p in there at some point.
Sure.
Because he's done that before. When he was
tasty.
But yeah, no, I think I don't think he's quite like that. If he can understand that something isn't food, he's not going to put it in his mouth. Except his own fingers. He likes putting his fingers in his mouth at the moment.
Is he old enough to steal a steak knife from a pub table and stick it in the car?
Or from your kitchen?
Not in the passenger seat.
No, I suppose.
Maybe I don't think this would make sense because it's the wrong side of the car, but I was like, maybe it somehow got in when we were at a KFC delivery. I was like, but they don't use actual knives.
No.
They were passing you the bag and it fell out from their hand. I mean, it's a steak knife of it's a little bit broken, but it's got a wooden handle and stuff as well.
It's not from your kitchen, right?
No, it's not. It's not a steak knife we owned. Yeah, it's come from somewhere. Yeah. I had a colleague in my car who was very confused when I asked them about it as well. It's I can't fathom how that got there. Or what's the point? How long it's probably been there? That it could have been there for a really long time, and no one just looked in the door bin. It's also a thing.
Probably.
Well, you can rule out vegetarians, I guess, unless they're really trying to.
Well, unless they want to kill you. The knife is not necessarily for steak.
Or a particularly tough nut log was on the menu. Nut log!
Could be.
Anyway,
mystery.
That's
okay.
That's what's happening in my life right now. Yeah.
Potential updates.
I didn't think I had done anything on the internet that inflammatory.
Well, we're putting all of this out there for years, so who knows? Maybe somebody finally snapped and decided to hide a steak knife in your passenger window.
I mean, it'll probably get filtered out, but there's some appropriate cops at your window. They've gone to you instead of me.
What was that?
Exactly. We're just saying there's some cops. There's some cops at your window. Yep, they're onto us. They're onto us.
They've decided it was Dan.
He's got it in for me. They've all got it in for me. How is everyone? What else is going on? Other than knives.
All right. Had a brief film section in the week that we've had. I saw the Spider-Mans.
The Spider-Mans, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still well behind on my Marvels at the moment, but yeah, what's that Spider-Man's like?
Well, what about, are you behind on the Spider-Mans or
no, I'm up to date on the Spider-Mans. Like, I haven't gone through Thunderbolts or anything of that phase just yet.
Yeah. I think they put Florence Pugh in this one because no one watched Thunderbolts.
Right, okay.
To remind people that, like,
she's here.
That Thunderbolts exists, or, like, because you're supposed to have, I think there's a sort of twist at the end of Thunderbolts because it's Thunderbolts asterisk, right?
Right, yeah. The worst
do you know
secret.
what that is?
Yeah, well, because they revealed it in their own damn marketing for it.
Well, there you go. Because they didn't think anyone would actually come to see it. That's why they had to say, "Oh yeah, there's new Avengers." By the way, nobody saw that movie, but there are.
Yeah.
But I mean, Florence Pugh makes everything that she's in better, so that's fine. There's a few scenes. It's mainly a continuation of the Spider-Man stuff rather than any other MCU stuff. But it's also slightly setting up future MCU stuff in a cool way.
Oh, cool. Nice. Is it like, there's been rumours going around that this might be this may or may not, may be the last Tom Holland, like, appearance as Spider-Man.
Yeah, it could well be.
Yeah. But then what do they do? Does Sony do we'll reboot and have another Spider-Man universe and then we can do another, like, let's get the band back, let's get the Spider-Mans together episode some point in the future.
I think he will be back for something, whether it's a full-blown Spider-Man film or if it's an Avengers type thing. He's not, I don't think they're in Doomsday, because that would be a bit much. But it probably leads into it in some capacity.
Yeah. They just need to get a handle on what they're doing again, Marvel. So they kind of lost the plot a little bit and then had to fix themselves because they didn't want to follow through on Kang. And not just because just because of the actor problem, but because of the whole setup. And it's like, so that whole thing, that whole phase just feels weird now, right? Like, I feel like they perhaps should have just finished it. Like, because it's weird that it feels like just a completely abandoned plot line. Like, oh, we're setting up for this thing, and now we don't care. We're going to go do something else. And it's like, ugh. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to...
I feel like that's probably worse than trying to carry on with a bad plot line in a way. Like, just not doing it. It feels worse. Feels unresolved. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, I'm miles behind on Marvel because I think the stuff we've got, like some of the stuff that we haven't watched is kind of a bit like of an age range that I wouldn't be comfortable necessarily watching with Milesy in the room. I tried as I mentioned before, I tried putting like the first Iron Man film on around him, and he really didn't like that. So it's like, I think I like MCU stuff is a little bit tricky for us to watch.
No, Miles wants cartoons, not not full-blown adult movies. Well, I say adult, but teenage, I guess.
A little bit tricky. And then I think, like, what series have we got next? Like, that new Daredevil series. It's like, okay, but that's got the Punisher in it. Oh, okay, that's going to be violent.
Well, the Punisher is in this.
Oh, is he?
The Punisher is in this, and very cuddly version of the Punisher. Let me put it that way.
Fair enough.
They really don't lean into how much murdering he does, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's John Bernthal, or however you pronounce his name, and he was good in it. But it's a very toned down Punisher. He's like a friend of Spider-Man in this.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Wonder Man. It's got an interesting look to it, but like, yeah, I don't know anything about that series. I need to catch up at some point.
Yeah, I don't think you have to for Spider-Man though, as long as you're caught up on Spider-Man.
Okay, good.
You can just watch it. I don't think they'll catch you up on everything you need.
Well, I'll just have to wait the excessive long period of time before Sony decides to grace Disney Plus with it.
Oh, that'll be a while. Yeah.
Yeah, because annoyingly, like, it's frustrating, right? Disney stuff ends up on Disney Plus pretty quick now, and it's like, yeah, because it's Sony. Yeah, this will take a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Spider Noir
is good.
It's
like a new director this time, and it's like a bit more filmic looking, I would say.
Oh, interesting.
More, yeah, and they're going for like a real New York. It's kind of back to basics because everything got reset at the end of the last Spider-Man one, right? So he's back to a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and there's some good sequences where he's just doing Spider-Man things, and there are slow motion frames that look like comic book panels, you know?
Nice.
Quite a bit of that in this film, which looks cool. Quite a few bits like that. And it was good. Yeah, less green screeny looking, although I'm sure it has just as much CGI as any other superhero film. But I think it was nicely done. I mean, it was filmed, a lot of it was filmed in Glasgow, I think, for the New York street scenes, I remember. But yeah, they made it look suitably New Yorky, which is cool. And they've really, obviously they've got the roles down, those actors now. Zendaya was really good in it, I would say.
Fantastic.
Worth checking out. And it does have ramifications for the future of the MCU and stuff, so there's a reveal of a character who's a big comic book character that you would recognise. So that's kind of cool.
Good. Meaningful. I mean, they had to kind of do something, I suppose, after the last one, right? After the reset. Like, they were going to have to think about how they were going to do this in some way.
I mean, he still has cliches in it, plenty.
Why wouldn't it?
But yeah, nicely done.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a couple more episodes of that.
I would say it definitely has an influence from the Insomniac games, definitely.
Oh, you think? That's interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's some sequences in it where it's like, there's like a swinging sequence through the city, and it's like, this clearly has some cross-pollination where those games have influenced back into the movies, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, because in Spider-Man 1, there was a couple of sequences, right, where the bad guy's in front of you causing carnage, and it's just you swinging through the carnage, right? And it's that to me seems like something that the films haven't necessarily done. So not to that size. So yeah, okay, that wouldn't surprise me if they tried to do something like that.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
Basic words. As I was trying to say, I saw a couple more episodes of Spider Noir, and you'll be pleased to know there is at least one episode where he goes full on Nicolas Cage. So it was worth it.
Okay. It's worth it for the one caging. Cagining.
Some weird stuff went down. It's a kind of a filler episode, but like, yeah, it's a somewhat an excuse to have Cage do Cage stuff. Bodily twitches.
Well, that's the superhero section.
Superheroes down. I haven't really been watching much TV other than that of late. It's quiet season. Spelling Bee's on, so I'm watching that every week.
Yeah, I need to get some new shows.
Not Spelling Bee, Sewing Bee.
I'm watching the final season of The Bear. You watched that. That's one of the games.
Yeah, again, another show I can't really watch in the presence of a child, I don't think.
No.
And I kind of want to watch Gary first. Before watching the final season. I don't know. You probably can get away with it without watching it, but all tied in, right? Have you watched Gary? Did you watch Gary?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Is that a spin-off or something?
Yeah, it's like a it's like a prequel featuring I forget what his brother's called, what the brother that died is called, but it's about him before.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched that.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Pretty sure that's not necessary.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell that it's the same universe, I guess, unless you know. But it's well, at least on the card that appears in Disney Plus, it just says Gary, and you're like, oh, I recognize that actor, and it's like, oh, you read the blurb, and it's like, oh, it's tied in, right? Okay. Gary.
Right, it's time for the video game news.
As much as there's been in a week.
Yeah, not a great deal going on. Not a great deal of note, anyway. Rumors is where I'm going to start. That their Halo campaign Evolved came out, and
not a rumor.
Not a rumor. That was for realsies. And as one might expect, unfortunately, in the industry right now, it sounds like that the Halo Studios has had a round of layoffs following its release, as a bunch of the eagle-eyed of the internet spotted a bunch of I've been laid off from Halo Studios stuff popping up on LinkedIn and various job sites. Nothing official has been stated, but clearly that sucks. It's like put a game out and they immediately fire.
Happens after every single game release.
Exactly, yeah. They just fire everyone immediately. Yeah.
I don't think they... Well, yeah.
There wasn't even really room for them to gauge the success of the thing at this point. It was just like, oh, it's out the door, you're gone. So are you. Everyone buy. Yeah, which is terrible. Just saying. In slightly more positive news, we had the OG Xbox games turn up on PC a week or so ago, right? There's a part of Xbox's backwards compatibility efforts spreading out. There is a leak that suggests that the Xbox 360 part of backwards compatibility on PC will start happening in 2027. So I guess lending some credence to that whole the OG Xbox emulation was running inside an Xbox 360 environment on PC. To the point where it's like, well, why don't we just run the Xbox 360 part on PC? Which is somewhat exciting.
So what will you be able to play on PC 360 games?
Presumably at the moment, I guess they'd only be targeting... It'll be a slow rollout, right? Because Microsoft have to do the work. And that was also part of this leak, that, the statement that that in order for something to be put on the back compat list, in order for Microsoft to then offer it, they do still need approval from publishers and stuff. But the idea of the agreement is that Microsoft are going to be doing all of the work to make it run. It's not on publishers to put any effort in. So why wouldn't they sign up and say yes? So presumably they would be targeting the games they've already done for Series X and stuff like that, because they're already with partners that said yes to making it happen. But who knows? They could expand it out to more games. I mean, here's hoping, right? Don't know what would be on my hit list for stuff. I guess is Jet Set Radio back, actually on the back compat list? I don't think it is Jet Set Radio Future. I think you actually do have to still play that on an OG Xbox or emulate it. I don't think that's on the back compat. So that would be nice, but then maybe Sega don't actually have the means to do that because of music licenses and such.
There's a decompilation now, isn't there?
There's a decomp in progress. Yeah, I don't think it's out yet, but it's in progress. I mean, I don't think Ridge Racer 6 supported in back compat. Be nice if that was. Amped 3 would be a good one for me, because I kind of do want to go back and play that game at some point, because it was mad. And quite a good snowboarding game at the same time. Anything from the 360 era you'd want to go back and do? No. I guess not. that was the question. But yeah, well, maybe the Project Gotham.
Is there anything else? Yeah.
But Project
Gotham 3?
Yeah,
4?
but I guess they might be tricky as well because of car licenses.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
and like music licenses there.
Yeah. I mean, weirdly, I'd like to see the first Forza Horizon come back.
Yeah, that would be good.
In some way.
Yeah, that's quite hard to play now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only one of the series I haven't played. It's the first one. It'd be nice to... It'd be interesting. It would be interesting to see where it all began. Anyway, so yeah, look forward to some amount of 360 coming on it. I know, like, games like... There's plenty of stuff on the 360. There's like the Halos and the Gears of Wars and... what was the other one I was doing the other day? Oh yeah, well, I was going to at some point get around to Metal Gear Rising. Right, the Revengeance. Yeah. The character action one.
Oh yeah.
I'd quite
That's
like...
on PC, isn't it?
I don't... Is it? I'm not sure it is. I think it might have only have had a console launch. But yeah, the 360 version of that is on back on console. So we're meaning to get around to that at some point. Be nice to see that. The only other bit of news I've really got of note, and feel free, Zach, to step in with anything else I will have missed after this, is like, hey, it's 30 years of Quake, yo. So they've made a Quake 1 expansion and released it as part of that Quake re-release they did for consoles, was it a year or two ago? So yeah, they've released a whole new Quake episode, official, called Dawn of the Machine.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And then Microsoft fired them
run
anyway.
on Quake in 1996.
I mean, it's running.
Like...
It's been designed for the as I say, the re-release version. So I don't know if you can get hold of it from the original version.
WAD files or whatever they are.
Yeah. So I guess they could take advantage of like more computing power, like by having perhaps upping the polygon count in the environment, maybe.
You don't want that.
Yeah, I'm not sure they would have. Or maybe there are actually technical limitations with the engine where they just couldn't do that still, or to make the textures good in some way. Like there's a limitation in the engine that means they can't go past a certain point.
I mean, I would guess that if there is an obvious limitation of that engine, it would probably be like how long you can make an individual level, just like the scale of it.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, there probably are limits like that. Or a point where it becomes, ill-performing or just hits some sort of boundary.
Although
the arrays aren't big enough.
I mean, what I was thinking when I was saying that might not necessarily be a limit of the engine. It might have been a choice to limit it like that because of the hardware of the time. Like a RAM limit almost, or memory anyway. Yeah, like maybe they were like, oh, we don't want to make levels that go past 4 gigs of memory or whatever. Probably not even 4 gigs back then. It was probably less than that.
Yeah. I don't claim to know the specifics of how that engine works, but I remember like it was in the Doom engine and stuff was all about tree structure, like that all the data was structured in trees. So like maybe there's a limit to how deep those trees could be. I think they were like for handling visibility and stuff like that, and surface culling and all that kind of jazz. Or maybe there's a limit to how the baked light map works. I imagine that might be a thing. Anyway, we've got a new Quake episode. I don't think I ever played all of the original Quake, in fairness. So I don't think I ever actually played every single part of it. I probably did. Because we did do the last boss, right, at one point. But at that point, we were probably just like doing whatever the console command is to jump around.
God mode.
That's pretty much what I've got for news.
Got the remake version of Quake?
Yeah, it's available on Game Pass, so you can get hold of it. I toyed with that a little bit when it came out. I mean, that's all I've written down for news, I should say. There was a Fire Emblem Direct, if anyone cares about Fire Emblem.
Quake 2 is out as well, isn't it?
Did they do a remastered version of that? They might have done.
Didn't they do Quake 2?
Or was that just an RTX demo?
There was an RTX demo of Quake 2.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's all of Quake 2, actually, that one. I don't think that's just a demo.
I thought that Night Dive did a Quake 2 one as well.
So maybe. I might have missed. That one might have passed me by. Maybe I didn't play it because I was thinking, like, I'll finish Quake 1.
Naturally.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe we'll get a new episode for Quake 2 when that hits 30, maybe. But yeah, this Fire Emblem Direct, they sort of did not exactly a rug pull, but kind of a weird marketing strategy on this one. When they first showed it to us before, they were saying like, "Hey, you can pick one of 4 characters, and you want to see their story through," and that's making that sound like an important choice. And then they were running with that for most of this new Direct, apparently, until right at the end, where they were like, but here's the real protagonist. Here is you. You are a part of it. You go back in time to recruit these 4 people. So, like, basically somewhat undercutting that choice to a degree, because it's like, you're probably going to need to do all 4 of those alternate timelines to recruit people. But no one really, I guess, like, at that, like, once you've done those 4 storylines, is that just like where the game begins? Like, how long are those 4 segments leading into the rest of the game? I also think it's kind of weird that, like, that would be a pretty cool, like, they should have kept all of that secret, and then, like, if like that happened like a few hours into the game, then it'd be like, oh, here's what it really is. Here you go. It's like that would have been a nice, like, player surprise. A bit like, and I'm not going to say it here, what happens after Act 1 in Expedition 33. That would have been,
Nintendo
a nice
notoriously
surprise.
bad at keeping any secrets apart from Tis the Kingdom, I guess. And then because that happened one time, everyone has this weird expectation that they're going to do it again, even though historically they never do. They always explain everything in excruciating detail. Instead, that's how Nintendo works.
Yeah, that is true. They are quite spoilerific these days. Yes, you're right. There was a Quake 2 re-release in 2023.
You forgot to write down the other bit of news that we were talking about immediately before the podcast that Dan will want to talk about, I guess.
Oh, yes. No, I know where you're going with this. GTA 6 is going to have a trailer. The trailer has not happened yet, but the news is that there will be a trailer. And this will be only the 3rd trailer we've seen of the game, which, compared to other marketing campaigns, that's a very low number of views at what this thing is. Will we see gameplay? Whoa. That's the main question. We have yet to see any actual gameplay from this thing. I guess the weird part is that it's getting a Netflix premiere 6 hours before it's released on YouTube.
Right, exclusive to Netflix for 6 hours.
For 6 hours?
Wow.
That's so weird, right?
Yeah, get Netflix and you can watch GTA trailer 3.
I'm
6 hours early.
Like, at this point, I'm like half surprised they didn't just go coming to theaters one day early. Like,
I mean, it's not like some video games kind of already haven't done that before, had their trailers be exclusive to pre-movie adverts.
I mean, Sony did their last, like, state of play in theaters for some reason.
But that's outdated advertising at this point, because who goes to movie theaters so long?
Dan, apparently.
Well, sure.
Yep.
Do you think
there will be news?
Well,
news will happen.
Do we know how long that thing will be? Have they said
I think
anything?
they said half an hour of narrated gameplay, supposedly.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
This is like a TV program. Okay, that'll be awesome. That's quite exciting. When is that?
Soon-ish. Sometime this week, I guess. I didn't look at the dates.
Oh, they did say. I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
Professional podcast, as always.
Nice.
I think that's the big stuff in news.
Yep.
All right. You better do what you've been playing. It's only been a week. Zach, what have you played in the last week and 2 days?
The GTA 6 thing will be Thursday, August 27th.
Oh, actually more than 1 week away then.
Yeah.
Wait, so they're teasing it this early, Jesus. They're teasing the teaser of the trailer like 3 weeks ahead of when it's actually coming out.
I mean...
Give people time to get their Netflix subscriptions confirmed or whatever, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, the older method to do it would have been just put a countdown on their website, right?
Well, they should have done that for a countdown this long, where it'd be like 5,000 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, do it that way rather than saying like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like 5,000 minutes.
What I've been playing is kind of, well, only Endfiled and Palworld. And I want, like, when I was looking at Endfiled this morning, doing dailies or whatever, I was like, oh, is it? Because I thought the new character was out, but it turns out it comes out like today at like 5 p.m. because that's when the server updates. So it's like, oh, 1 day too soon for Off-Us, or too late for Off-Us, I guess. Which would make the halfway point of this patch, I guess, because that's the second character. So I can't really report on that character except for it being, they've updated the launcher to have like basically a full video as the background of the launcher of the new character.
Oh.
That you still can't get yet. Annoyingly.
Tease.
Yep. Not that I'm going to get that character anyway, because you know, I can only get 50% of the characters, and I already got the last one, so this is one I have to skip.
Okay, yeah,
and also,
you haven't been able to save enough to do a guaranteed
to do a double.
Run.
Yeah, I haven't managed to get 2 in a row, but luckily I've always conveniently, you know, if I've always been getting the first of the 2 characters in each of these patch cycles, but if it ever flips and I get 2 characters in a row, I'll be boned.
Right.
It's just been coincidentally, it's always been the first one of the pair that I've been interested in.
Mm.
But you know, as I mentioned before, it's like this character doesn't seem as interesting because she's also a healer apparently, and healers are kind of pointless.
Right. I mean, that's similar rhetoric to what I hear about like defense characters in Zenless. It's like there's no point.
Just play there.
No point. Yeah.
Just be good at the game. Like, there's literally only one time in Endfiled that I've ever used a healer, and that was for one specific, like, combat challenge room where you just have a continuous health drain. So it's basically like just having a healer extends the time limit, essentially, of how long you have to defeat everything before your health runs out. And that was the only time. Because in every other case, I mean, I think it's not necessarily a problem of them being healers specifically. It's a problem that, like, all the healers that have been in the game so far don't have a good combo as well. Like, if their combo activation was a bit more useful, because, like, the main, like, the big healer, I guess the most healing healer, the
healerist.
Their combo activation is, like, you finish your hit chain on an enemy that doesn't have any status effects on them. It's like, that's almost never going to happen, because the whole point is you're constantly applying status effects.
Huh.
Or at least it's not really a thing you can plan around. Like, it'll happen sometimes where it's like, maybe it was a new enemy that entered the combat and you just accidentally clipped them while you were finishing off the current enemy or whatever. But you can't really plan your combo around that being a thing, because it's just kind of not going to be it's like, it's always like it's an opener, but like, that's not how combat works. Like, you could, and even then, when there are things like that, where if your combo setup relies on an opener that's at the end of your hit chain, that's like, you've already been doing nothing in this combat for several seconds at that point, because you've got to finish your whole hit chain to get to that first trigger. That always feels bad as well. You want to burn those SPs nice and quick, unless you're playing a counter team, I guess. Oh, that was one of the
Unless
things.
you just have to be a little bit disciplined. Like, hold on for like 5 seconds.
Sure.
And then go blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, as I say, I don't think the current selection of healers combo triggers aren't actually useful. Like, one of the other ones has it's actually really bad for this other healer, because both her active skill and her combo skill are both part of the heal process, and they both kind of suck. Like, her active skill is to basically put a heal orb around you that when you finish your combo chain, it then heals you. So that's just set up. Like, her active skill is to set up the heals, and then her combo skill is once you've gone through your attack loop twice to trigger the heal twice, then her combo skill is to, like, fire the orb at the enemy, and then it does ice infliction. So, like, her entire skill set is focused on just this one tiny bit of healing and one singular infliction. And it's like, that's so slow for that to use an entire character just for that.
makes you wonder why they make the characters like that, like in a way. Like why haven't they tried to rebalance or improve those characters to make them desirable?
I mean, I don't think we're at the point of rebalancing in this game yet. It hasn't been out that long, and then that's probably why these characters are like that, because they didn't know how things were going to play out fully in the early days.
Just not 100% thought through.
Yeah.
And things do tend to shift around in these games a little bit.
And I guess the thing that I did do in Endfiled was like there was some new, what people will technically call endgame content, but it's just like, I mean, I guess it is endgame content. It's like the really hard combat rooms or whatever. But like, I hadn't played a lot of these really hard combat rooms originally because when I first played the game, obviously I couldn't, because it was like, I literally didn't have the teams to do it, so I'd skipped over them for a long time. But the ones that I tried in the first versions of these combat rooms were all kind of a bit too much like the classic DPS check, where it's just like, there's a thing that's just going to kill you after a certain amount of time, like the health drain one, where it's just like, if you don't kill the enemies quick enough, you're just going to run out of health, and therefore fail.
Yeah.
But these later ones, like the ones they've just introduced in this patch, were like, they're getting kind of weird and funny with their effects now. And even some of these are even actually letting you use heal items, which usually they don't, which is why those ones like the health drain one were like that, because you also couldn't use your heal items. But now they're starting to allow you to use heal items because they're getting a bit more creative with the other effects. So like one of them, the enemy is super hardy, but any status effects you apply just stay permanently.
Oh.
Which means you can do some really funny things, like if you do the cryo stack and then trigger solidification, which solidification is weird anyway, because like for big enemies it doesn't actually freeze them, it's just a status effect. But the effect of solidification is that you can, if you then hit them with a physical status, it shatters the freeze for extra damage.
Right, but if the solidification doesn't go away,
you just shatter them over and over for massive damage.
Wow, okay.
So there's weird things you can do with that.
Does it like do a shatter effect on every hit then?
I don't think it does, because for those kind of big enemies that don't look like they're frozen.
Just like, just bits of ice or bits of rock flying out of this guy kind of constantly. Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, that fight has some weird tricks you can do. And of course people have then taken that concept and been like, made it its own weird challenge where it's like, can you apply every status effect to maximum stacks at the same time?
Interesting.
Can you figure out a team build to be able to do that?
That's quite funny.
Not necessary, but funny. And then there's the one that everyone is kind of thinking is the peak of this set of combat challenges is the weird banana skin one. So there was an enemy that was introduced a couple of patches ago that is like a monkey type thing, but like it throws banana peels around the arena, and if you walk on them, you like trip, basically. Which you'd think would be really annoying in like a Smash Brothers tripping way. Yeah. But it's actually fine. It's like, it's just it's a thing you move around the arena and avoid hitting. But like the trick to this combat arena they've set up is like, you no longer regenerate skill points over time. You only regenerate skill points by tripping over banana skins deliberately.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
So while you're fighting this big monkey, you're having to run around the arena looking for all the banana skins that the small monkeys are throwing in from the edge of the arena for you to trip on deliberately to regen your SP.
Yeah. You have to build up like banana comedy.
Yeah, basically. And it's really weird because, like, you can even, like, chain them. Like, if there's a line of banana skins that happen to be in a row, you can, like, bounce from one to another in one slip. And then there's even more tricks to it, like, if you have a character that gets a shield as part of their move, it makes you invulnerable to the trip animation, but you can still just run over the banana field. So it's like, oh shit, turn your shield on, and then quickly scoop up all the bananas while you don't fall over.
That's quite funny.
But yes, that's they're starting to get slightly more interesting with what we're terming the endgame content, where it's not just do a shit ton of damage as fast as possible. There is still some of that, like the other mode that's just been introduced recently kind of has that, except it's more. I mean, people have half complained and half been okay with it, where it's like there's like the free difficulty tiers. And getting it in that you only have to complete it in the hardest tier to get all the rewards. But then there's a, like, extra hard version where you just have to beat the hard version within a certain time limit, and then that gives you, like, basically it just gives you a fancy icon on your name. It doesn't give you any actual rewards.
Yeah. Just a title to be like, I was that good.
Yeah, it's like, is that okay? I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't matter how inconsequential the reward is. Even the reward is literally only a cool thing on your title. That's still going to annoy people.
Yeah.
If they can't get it. So yeah, some people are fine with it, and some people are still annoyed.
I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with it.
I think I would be okay with that. Yeah.
And I did actually get that shiny, like, upgrade, because it's a series of these different combat challenges, and they have different conditions to how the fight goes, but it's still a time limit to get the full clear or whatever.
Right.
So I figured out various teams to do that, and it's the only thing in the game so far that I've ever done that actually required me to, like, actually think about different armor equipment.
Oh, interesting.
Because I normally just do the like simple naive armor equipment where you look at the character's main stats, because they will have like a main and a secondary stat. You look at what two stats those are, and then you look at the armor that matches that, and then you just put it on there.
Right.
And maybe the armor has a set bonus that also matches if you can pay attention to that. And most of those are naive because it's obvious. Whereas the person who needs crits, their armor that matches their stats coincidentally also gives them more crits.
Yeah.
As the set bonus. So it's like you didn't have to think about it really. But then once you get into these extremely hard things, it's like now you might actually want to deliberately not have the armor that gives you the most stat boost, but gives you a specific armor set bonus that does a different thing, like more stagger or faster combo cooldowns that doesn't give them as much stats, but does allow you to, like, trigger things quicker or whatever.
Things, yeah. Which may be more helpful and thus speed it up.
Yeah. So that was the first time I actually got into that a bit.
How does Endgame work in Endfield? Does it have, like, leaderboards, kind of like, because that's as far as I can tell, that is what Zenless's Endgame is. It's just like damage lead or a score leaderboard, effectively. For like...
No, I mean, it doesn't really have any kind of leaderboards like that. The most you can do is, like, when you have that little icon on your profile, you can actually, if you click on someone's profile, you can bring up the sort of stats page for that, and it just shows you what teams they used. Which is sort of helpful when I was trying to figure out how to beat some of these challenges. It's like, I'll just look at my friends list and see who's already done it and see what they use.
Right, yeah.
And that might give you a hint. Although it doesn't really show you the full stats for those teams, which is, that would be more helpful, but maybe it's intentional to not completely reveal every trick.
Yeah, keep the puzzle. Yeah, interesting.
And that's another note I'm going to have to put in the player survey when that comes around at the end of this patch cycle, is like, now that we're, especially with that last new character that I just got in the last patch, because her moveset slightly changes depending on what her stats are, and therefore you need basically two different armor sets to equip to change between those two modes. Because one gives up, you need one of the stats to be higher for this mode and one of the stats to be higher for the other set. Like, now that we're at that point, we kind of need a way to save armor loadouts as part of your team.
Right, I see. Yeah, so when you're picking...
So when you're choosing the team, it just automatically changes all their equipment as well.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
Hopefully that won't be too much of a problem for them to fix. And I also find it kind of... You also can only save 5 teams, and that's not enough any longer.
Right.
So you need to up that limit or make it unlimited somehow. I mean... It's not like, if they already have a system for saving the factory blueprints as like a text string, why not the team loadouts?
Sure.
You think that would be similar?
Yeah, assuming you've got the resources to, well, yeah, or it doesn't involve like the same graded parts of that. Like,
yeah,
for other people to load in, I guess, if you're sharing those.
Yeah, because they also use that same like text string copying system with that. From the first video, the contingency contract, when you're choosing the debuffs, you could export that as a text string. So you'd be like, here's the exact set of these debuffs I played, in case you wanted to share that around. So they've definitely kind of got that tech, I guess. So let's hope they implement it for the character loadouts. And then I played a bunch more Palworld, and that, the jank continues.
So it wasn't just that one bit you thought was a little off with the enemies that were too hard, and you think it was trying to encourage you to fly over them.
Well, I mean that hasn't really happened anywhere else that we've been, but like the tech tree jank hasn't fixed itself, that's for sure. Like we're basically fully leveled on our characters, but still only halfway through using the actual technology of the tech tree.
Right.
That we've already unlocked. And it's also getting kind of awkward because I feel like we're trying to, because our character level and our like main POW team's level are constantly going up, and we're trying to keep up with the boss towers or whatever, we're sort of trying to get through the tech too fast in a way that's like making it more difficult to keep up. Like, when you need to smelt these new higher tiers of resources or whatever, making these new fancy metal types, it's like, okay, so to make this next metal, we're going to need to build the new upgraded furnace, which means we need like 250 of the previous tier of metal, which is already a lot, because we're kind of already behind on that. And then once we get the new furnace, it's like, well, okay, now this new furnace is extra large and you can use up to 4 POWs to fire it at once instead of just 1. So then we need like extra POW space in our base to be able to have extra POWs working it. And it also uses electricity, and it uses more electricity than we're producing. So then we need to go and make an even better electricity generating POW to run it and all that stuff. And we're also sort of falling behind on the it's a weird secondary research system where, like, in your base, you can have this little research station that it uses a bunch of resources, and you have to have a PAL of that type work at it for a certain amount of time, and it gives you, like, you know, percentage bonuses to stuff. So it's like, oh, if you want to make your fire PALs be 5% better at fire, then you do this little research project by assigning one of them to this research station for a while. But we're definitely falling way behind on that. So, like, we're not even getting those bonuses to compensate for the fact that we need to do more stuff more quickly.
Right. Because so how do you focus on that more? Like, do you just need more, like, science pals?
Yeah, actually, I don't even know if you can build multiple of that station. You might be able to.
You need more pals riding the magic school bus.
Yes.
Like, random aside while I'm thinking about Magic School Bus.
Yeah, right? Clearly.
Because Marsley's been watching Magic School Bus.
Oh, old school.
No.
Oh, new school.
New school. There is new Magic School Bus.
What?
Yeah.
So is it shit, as new things always are?
Kinda.
Magic school? Magic what?
The Magic School Bus. You know, the Magic School Bus.
All right. Not the Magic Roundabout.
Not the Magic Roundabout, no.
For a moment, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, how could you remake that now? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a weird. I mean, maybe the old show was like this. I don't really have much familiarity with the old Magic School Bus, to be fair. But like, maybe the whole show was like this. But I kind of have beef with its whole premise to an idea. It's like it is a science educational show taking place in a magic school bus that breaks all of the laws of science that they're teaching. Like like I'm watching it at the time going, okay, like when they actually get to a teachy bit, they're quite like fast with like the actual like here's how the science works kind of explanation. Like it's just like, this thing works like this. Let's get back to the bullshit storytelling.
Okay.
That's roughly associated with it. Maybe there'll be a musical interlude sort of talking about that science we just very quickly explained.
I mean, maybe that's the part where the modern version is worse. Maybe they deliberately shortened the actual, like, here's the science bit.
Yeah. There was, so there's this whole, like, I guess a special, I suppose, about, oh man, it made no flippin' sense. The premise was that the Magic School Bus had taken everyone to a concert in Australia to bring in the new year, right?
Right.
But the bus wasn't feeling very well.
As it does.
Because at midnight at the end of the year, the bus basically has to perform a software upgrade.
Oh, it's the magic reset button.
Yeah, it has to perform. Well, they called it Magicware as well. It has to update its Magicware. So their get out was to like, oh, well, he'll be all right if we just we were going to be following the new year around the world
so we
anyway.
just have to stay ahead of it instead.
We just have to stay ahead of it, yeah. So it's like, and this is how we teach kids about time zones. Except, of course, they then enter that patch of like the world where the time zones aren't sequential and stuff like that. And it all gets a bit stupid and a bit nuts as a result of it. And so then the ultimate like solution is, why don't we just go to the poles where there's every time zone? And then it's like, well, surely you're just in the problem and not in the problem at the same time. This doesn't make any sense.
Go to space where there's no time zones.
And isn't there
Choose whatever your time zone.
Isn't there a button you could just push like in Windows to say delays?
Delays.
Yeah. Oh, except in Windows it would ignore it. Yes. Anyway, I think Magic School Bus is stupid. Like, I appreciate what they're trying to do, but I don't think it's actually that good at what it's trying to do.
Well, I think maybe the problem is that it, like, and I don't know, I also don't know much about the original either, whether this is as bad back then or it's a new thing, but like, kind of the point of the Magic School Bus was just to get to the thing you want to look at, and then you're then meant to kind of ignore them, because now you've integrated the bus too much into the story with this time zones thing. It's like, now the magic is becoming the forefront, not the science bit.
Well, yeah, that seems to be the problem with all of the episodes I've seen, like that, like the peril that everyone is in because the science of the bus is, or the magic of the bus is stupid. And like, and maybe that's the moral of the story. Like, magic is
dumb,
stupid.
right?
Yeah. It's a weird show. There was one on DNA, which I was a bit of me was like, this is probably a bit advanced. Yeah, and literally talking about the GACT stuff, right? And then they all come out in little ships trying to get rid of someone that they don't like's nervousness gene. But yeah,
wow.
Yeah, so they're like
gene editing.
Yeah, they're literally genetically modifying this person. So of course he turns into various animals along the way, so they can explain. It's totally like everyone's DNA is actually really close to each other, right? Like the similarities are really similar. So you modify one little bit and they'll turn into a penguin. That kind of stuff.
That's going to give children nightmares. They're going to be turning into penguins.
And then, of course, like, the moral of the story is like,
don't fuck with genes.
That. And also, like, you can't really change people's, like, emotions, man. They're not really genetic. That's environmental. I don't know. I didn't like it. There was one about going to the sun, and they didn't have enough shield battery or something. Magic shield battery to get close to the sun and then get away from the sun. So there was some self-sacrificing peril as one guy goes into the sun to charge the magic shield battery. Somehow.
Into the sun,
yeah. It made no flipping sense.
Really should have had the bus be solar powered.
No kidding.
That would have
Science.
You just had someone, I mean, this would be a dumb science thing, but you could have had someone be like, oh, I've got this calculator, it has one of those solar panel strips, and we can just use that to power the entire bus because we're so close to the sun.
Yeah. Why wasn't it like that? They just had to, it turns out, I think they just literally had to, like, shove a battery, like, just into the radiation.
Plug into the sun.
Yeah.
Like a Tesla charger. Plug the bus into the sun directly.
Yeah. That show's not good.
Plummeting into the sun is a great subject for kids, I guess so. I remember there's a Thunderbirds episode where the space probe was on a collision course with the sun, and they had to get to them, and they were getting very hot and perspiring a lot, these puppets, trying to get to fire the radio beam to fire the retro rockets.
I seem to remember perspiring puppets was a relatively common theme.
Oh yeah, it was very common.
Yeah, the volcano
were always in stressful situations where they were sweating. Especially when they were heading into the sun. I think that was like episode 3 of Thunderbirds.
Wow, okay. They went to space early.
Rare opportunity to actually use Thunderbird 1.
Thunderbird 3?
Oh yeah, 3, sorry.
Yeah, 3. The big orange. Yeah, the rare opportunity to use it.
Because 1 is the one that only goes to space, right? And then 3 is the one that flies around in space.
Oh yeah.
think one is terrestrial, isn't it? It's just
one
fast.
has
it just
wings
looks like
as
a rocket.
well.
Yeah, it's like a rocket
But it is a
plane.
rocket.
Yeah, but it's a rocket plane.
It is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go into space. Yeah, but 3 does. And 5 is permanently in space.
Yeah. The
It
brother
doesn't do shit.
Yeah, the brother no one liked, right?
Right, John, the oldest brother, who just gets stuck at the space station.
Cheers,
But he does
guys.
prompt every single mission by intercepting communications. And, yeah.
That's a retirement plan.
Yeah.
Just hang out in space.
Apparently, I watched a video saying that the physics, you probably know this from Kerbal Space Program, Zach, but trying to hit the sun is much harder than trying to, I don't know, leave the solar system.
Well, yeah.
Or it's actually really, really hard to get to the sun. You can't fall into it.
Really?
Much easier.
Well, it's the same as like going to Mercury is like equally hard as going to Saturn, essentially, because it's the same gravitational difference of having to accelerate or decelerate in either direction.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to hit the sun, you'd have to effectively stop. So you have to completely negate the entire orbital speed of the Earth if you're launching
in
from
order
the
to
Earth.
fall into it. Yeah,
but I thought orbiting was like if your rotational speed was just less than a threshold, you just would fall in because of gravity.
Yeah, but you don't fall in; you fall nearer. Like it becomes an elliptical
way out
orbit
if you do
that becomes
sure,
closer at the bottom.
because the sun is so big. Surely, if your rotational decelerates to a certain point, your probability of hitting it is generally higher.
The sun is big, but it's not like space orbit's big. Like you think about how big the orbit of the Earth is.
Sure, I get that.
There's a limit to how much you can do with just things being big in space, comparatively. But yeah, that is definitely a thing that Kerbal Space Program will tell you. It's just like weird orbital mechanics where you use a shit ton of fuel.
Elon Musk and SpaceX have managed to hit the moon by mistake, apparently, yesterday.
I mean, that is... I was kind of confused about that, because, like, in order for that to happen, surely the bit of debris would have had to be going towards the moon in the first place, and SpaceX hasn't done any actual independent moon stuff apart from the Artemis stuff, right?
It was a Falcon 9 upper stage, so that must have only been going to low Earth orbit, right? So something must have gone very wrong.
Yeah, that's why I was confused about it.
Oh no, high energy mission delivering 2 commercial lunar landers. Okay, so it was going to the moon. Okay.
No, in that case, not so surprising. The piece of debris eventually ran into the moon. Yeah. Anyway, Palworld. Yeah, I don't know. We're at the, I forget if it's 7th or 8th tower now out of the 8, but I'm actually beginning to be unsure about whether the enthusiasm in the multiplayer session is going to survive to the end of the game. Like, with the fact that we're trying to force it and falling behind on the tech, and the tech tree jank already being weird, like, are we going to be able to tough it out, kind of, with what, like, the kind of non-grinding but extra grinding that we have to do? Where it's like, if we were better at keeping up with, like, the upgrades, and better at being able to use more of the tech tree that we've already unlocked, it would make things quicker to do. But since we don't have that, we're kind of trying to bypass it by, doing things manually, which is obviously not as good. Where it's like, we actually have to go manually mine these minerals. What are we doing? Get pals to do it.
Yeah, exactly. But you just need more pals, right?
Well, kind of. But like, the unlocks for the infinite mines for the base are in the tech tree, of course, and then building those requires whatever materials that we might not have enough of. Is that kind of thing.
So go get the pals to get the materials.
Well, yeah, kind of, but
get our pals.
That I mean, at a certain point, it's also a balance of like how fast things happen in the game. Like the whole point of those research upgrades, where it's like, you can increase your pal's fire abilities by 5%. It's like, but you have to have a pal research that, and it takes like, I don't know, it depends how high level the pal is compared to the research job or whatever, but it can still be like half an hour. So at a certain point, there is a hard limit on like time where we're just like, we have to wait, but we're not waiting because we want to actually do things while we're playing this game. And that's also made worse by it being multiplayer, because it's like now we have 2 people who can do stuff but we can't make a 30-minute timer go any faster by having 2 people. And, like, we also need to make twice as much stuff as well, because there's 2 people.
Right.
Which I was considering suggesting that we could just go into the game settings and modify that, because I don't know if you can change, like, the cost of recipes, but you could definitely make it so that, like, the minerals give you twice as much or whatever. We could probably slightly tweak that to get around these resource scarcity problems of multiplayer. Because I suspect the game is generally balanced towards the single player.
Sure. Yeah.
Even though it's in no way a single player game in general. Like, it has a whole guild system, which also doesn't make sense because, I mean, it's bad enough when it's just 2 of us, but just imagine if it was a guild of 10 people. And you were trying to progress through the game normally, and you had to get 10 times as many materials for every upgrade on the tech tree, because you were making 10 times of everything for everyone.
But then can't people go to 10 more locations?
Well, that's the other thing where it's like, it seems almost counterintuitive to be in a guild, even for the 2 of us, because like, the number of bases you can build, and therefore like the number of pals you could have working in those bases, that's a guild limit. So like, when we're in the guild together, we can make 4 bases, but if we were in 2 separate guilds, we can make 4 bases each. And therefore have twice as many pals doing stuff.
Okay.
So it's like...
But then, so what, so how, like, you might need to, like, so what is the structure of the, like, as in, it's like a save file, so someone has to be online, yes. Or is it like, so it's not like a server?
Well, you can run it as a server if you
right,
want.
So maybe that's what this is geared for, because then that makes a bit more sense, potentially, for anyone to just sort of log in and tinker.
But, like, it's not balanced in a way that having, like, a lot of people in a guild makes sense.
Well, like, yeah, unless those 10 people are literally sharing the load.
Sure, but like,
but not on at the same time.
Well, yeah, I guess if you're coming on at different hours, like, oh, now's my turn to use all the base resources.
But then I guess it's still 10 times the target, right?
Yeah,
it's still a problem.
And you still you have 10 times as much stuff to make, but still only 4 bases. So
weird.
It is a weird system, and that's why I say it's like it seems more balanced for multiplayer for single player. But then maybe that's what the save file configuration is for, where you can just upgrade, like, make everything take 10 times less time or whatever. Maybe not 10 times less. I don't know how far that limit could go, but maybe we could look into doing that if we feel like we're going to come up against a real barrier.
Yeah, tweak the settings to something a bit more playable.
I mean, I have been wasting a bit of time in the multiplayer game of just like doing some of the PAL breeding, which, again, I speculated even in single player might be like more time effort than it's worth. Where it's just like, I can breed this super awesome PAL mount who has like all the stamina bonuses and all the speed bonuses, but does having a really fast high stamina PAL mount compensate for the amount of time it takes to make it? Does travelling around faster?
I mean, no, but
yeah, probably not.
I think that's fairly evident, probably not, but
I mean, it depends how early in the game you do it, I guess. How early in the game you can get away with it. And the breeding system is also continuing to be like its annoyingly jank self, where it's just like you can breed anything with anything, and it does this weird hidden number averaging system where like each pal has a hidden number assigned to it, and you take those 2 numbers, you add them together, you divide it by 2, and that's the new pal that gets created out of the egg. The one that's in the middle of those 2 hidden values. So it's like there's no logic to it. Like, you can't breed like a fire pal and another fire pal and expect a fire pal to come out, because that's not how that works.
Right, okay.
But then the trouble is that occasionally there is logic, except it's too specific logic, where it's like, you have the pals that are like elemental versions of a normal pal, which in the pal list are like labelled as beta or whatever. So it's like, oh, it's this pal, but the fire version of it. And those ones don't work on the like number average system. They have very specific breeding requirements where you have to breed like the base version of the pal with a specific other pal to create that alternate version.
Yeah.
But it is a very specific pal, and obviously there's no way to know that. So it's like you just look it up on the wiki.
Yeah. It's Viva Pinata.
Yes, it's going that far in that direction. Because, I mean, with the averaging system, it's like you can eventually breed back to one of the parents just by keep cutting that average in half towards one end of that scale, basically. So it like that works. It just takes a really long time. So yeah, the breeding system is kind of annoying and always has been, and too much hidden information that you just look up on a wiki at a certain point, or a specialized website that maps out the exact breeding path for optimal efficiency. And that's quite annoying. So anyway, yeah, we continue to play Palworld. I continue to play Palworld. And I play Rocky. Only one time in this week's period.
But you also played something else.
Oh yeah, the transitional to Rob.
The segue. So the two of us...
Segueing to Rob.
Yeah, the two of us made a start on a co-op campaign of Halo Campaign Evolved.
I've played through that game twice.
Oh, you played
now.
through it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The three-way segue is on. Why don't you go, Dan? Why don't you tell us about how you think about it first?
Well, I played it on PlayStation.
Yeah,
It's weird. You know how like people say like, oh, actually the best way to play through like Half-Life is to play Black Mesa or whatever.
Yeah.
This is like way more faithful to Halo than Black Mesa is to Half-Life. This is like it's pretty Halo-y.
Mm.
It's not bad in that respect. I mean, the visual things that I noticed from the trailers and stuff are the same. Like I still like the Forerunner architecture thing. And
right, sure.
I think like little things like I don't think
not enough building wear on the outside. You mean like too shiny.
And like the and also that in the real game, it's too chromy, but also that seems to interact with the kind of lumen lighting to cause it quite a bit of noise and like boilingness on it, which seems to be emphasized by that chrominess. So especially when like a Forerunner door is like opening and closing in front of you, you can see the lumen going, oh shit.
Yeah, there is a bit of speckliness to it. There is a bit of it disco lights its way across a scene sometimes when the light is changing.
Yes. It definitely does.
It's like my experience with that was my primary experience with that was when I was playing Avowed, right? And if you didn't have the GI setting on max, it's like certain effects, certain lights would look like they were fire, even if they weren't fire, which was fine if it was fire. But when it wasn't, it was just like, oh, why is this light dancing over here? It's like, this should be solid.
So presumably on PC, you can just turn things up.
You can just crank it up,
On PS5, it's like, and other little things like I think the Elite shields are a bit too opaque and stuff like that.
Yes, they just immediately turn bluey white as soon as you start shooting them.
Yeah, which looks odd.
And it stays that way, rather than flash on hit, right? That's kind of my biggest problem with that.
Yeah, that's definitely needs adjusting and stuff. But in general, you kind of forget quite quickly, and it's just like, oh, you're into it, and it's like, oh yeah, this feels pretty Halo-y. I don't know. The Warthog is more kind of Halo 3 handling than Halo 1, I would say.
Very much so, yeah. But because you've got the brake, but I don't think you had. Did you have the brake in Halo 1 originally? I don't think that was in the first game.
I mean, I switched it to be the weird original driving where
100%
look stuff like that.
We immediately changed it to the drive to where look. Because that's Halo to me. It's like, I'm not going to drive.
Just change all the settings. The item markers are ludicrous if you don't turn them off, because there's it's like, oh, there's stuff here. It's like, well, obviously there's stuff.
Yeah, I didn't actually turn those off. So they seem alright.
Well, I found it weird that
the waypoints are every 5 seconds. It's like, oh, this way, then this way, then this way. So there's no you
sometimes
that
helps.
You never get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
overall.
I found the item markers to be really weird because I'd only notice them occasionally, but it's are they? It's I don't notice them enough to notice that they're there, but are they always there? Because I feel I see bursts of them occasionally.
Yeah,
and then most of the time I don't even notice.
Yeah, I think I think they are more consistent I've played a little bit of the single player to point out, like not just the co-op campaign, but like I haven't played through all of it. But it seemed a little less consistent in split screen, whether or not that stuff was appearing or not.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, the performance, like on the base PS5, which I've got, is like it stays at 60, except for like the Warthog run at the end or whatever. But like it slows down like the physics and the animation of the enemies and stuff, and when things get heavy, so it looks really weird. They suddenly go all like. I mean, to be fair, the original game didn't perform that well in those situations.
No,
but there were definitely bits where it's like, oh, it's got all like slideshow, but right. I can still look around and move around fine. But all the enemies have got slideshow. But absolutely playable.
Like an animation decimation sort of effect. You mean?
Yeah, there's a particular. I mean, they'll probably patch things, but there's a hanger in the Truth and Reconciliation level that seems to be super heavy for some reason. I don't actually know why. It's more busy. I mean, there's a lot going on, but it's not any busier than...
Is it the sort of the hanger that's split in two, and like there's there's like what are they called? A wraith just hanging out in one side of it, and like open space on one side of you, right? Because there's a big old like hollow, like shielded wall. Yeah, that scene is somewhat notorious. Even on this version,
it was probably bad in the original.
Like that. That section is. I mean, DF picked up on that. It's like this seems to be a particularly heavy spot for some reason. I think it's because all the walls are like mildly reflective, right? Because they are actually using.
Yeah, maybe that's the reason.
They are actually using like. I think DF think they're using some sort of ray traced reflection system in there to do some of that, and it's like okay, most of those surfaces are reflective in some way, so that's going to be pretty heavy.
So you played the co-op and then a bit of the... So what I went... Because I was like, I remember the old Halo... Oh, hardcore is how it's meant to be played. So I went straight for hardcore. Played the whole game through on hardcore. Heroic, yeah. And we played the whole game through on heroic. And like, maybe I was rusty, but that was harder than I remember. And then I went to normal, and it was like, normal was normal, like easy and fine. So, but heroic felt like... I needed, maybe it was tuned for co-op, because I needed to cheese in a kind of legendary way in quite a few bits.
Interesting.
I found.
Yeah, so I've not got to any of the... as I say, I'm soloing in Heroic, but yeah, as I say, I'm not very far in. Like, I'm a little way into Halo, for instance. It's like I've only toyed with it for a bit. But I've been finding it really easy on that difficulty level. Like, it feels... Right. I think the difficulty levels are actually easier than they once were. Zach and I weren't having anywhere near as much trouble with Legendary as I remember Halo 1 Legendary being.
Interesting.
I remember Elites just being, like, an absolute arse to take down in Legendary mode.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they still kind of are.
But not anywhere near
they are in a different way now.
Yeah.
Which is my problem with it. Well, like, again, this might just be that I don't remember the original Halo very well, although I'd hope that I do remember it, considering how many times we played it. Maybe not recently, but over the years.
I just remember certain bits of, like, maybe on, like, 2 betrayals and stuff like that, where you're at, like, big open area, like, in the canyons, and there's, like, one elite, like, just one, hanging out, like, across the way. But they've got like almost perfect accuracy, and they're hitting you. And obviously, a couple of shots in Legendary on that original difficulty is enough to take you down. Like you're in the very first mission, you're coming off against several at once, repeatedly, and it didn't feel like that level of difficulty.
I mean, it seems like the main problems that I've been having with the new version is that, like, well, firstly, it feels like the AI is worse now. Like, basically, as soon as you start shooting at an elite, they just rush you. And it's just like, they don't try and dodge or duck behind cover as much any longer. They just, as soon as they're taking damage, they're just immediately running to wherever the hell you are.
I agree with that. They do seem to rush more, particularly on Legendary mode. They weren't really doing that so much in Heroic mode.
Right.
So that does feel different. Like, yeah, they were just like, at times, as you say, just absolutely just charging you down, and it's like, okay, well, that's pretty hard to deal with.
And then the other problem that I had, which again, don't know if this is just how it was in the original, but I feel like it was. It's just like, well, you just can't super combine them any longer with the Needler.
The Needler doesn't work. Like the Needler kind of like
and even if
super sucks.
Even
now.
if you do get the explosion to happen, it doesn't kill them anyway.
Yeah, and at least not in Legendary.
No.
When it used to.
I don't think the Needler wasn't that good in the original game. I think it.
I feel like the Needler was kind of the solution to Legendary in the original. Like that was how you dealt with elites.
That or the plasma pistol, right?
Yeah,
were like the two go-tos.
There's something slightly off with the weapon switching when you do the noob combo.
Yes, it takes too long.
It takes too long. Yeah, it's slightly too long. Yeah.
There's I think they may have added more intro animation.
Yes. So it's like pulling the gun out animation.
Yeah,
but there was always an intro animation.
There always was, yeah. But I think they're longer and more detailed now.
Yeah, they need to fix that. Just make it the same.
And it was very annoying through like the first 2 or 3 missions because we play in co-op, and like you respawn in co-op.
Yeah, which Legendary didn't used to do.
I think it did in Halo 1.
Oh,
like, I think they only
is it Halo
changed
2?
That.
Yeah, okay, you might be right. Halo 2 definitely, like,
so what happens if anyone dies and it goes back to the checkpoint?
It used to.
Yeah, I think it was in...
Right.
You might be right. That might have been Legendary in Halo 2 where it was really harsh on that. And maybe Legendary in Halo 1, they actually let you respawn.
Eventually that was also a skull, right? They changed it to be a skull where if anyone dies, you all go back to the checkpoint. Like,
oh yeah, you might be right. I mean, obviously there was the I forget what it was called, but there's the skull where it's like if anyone dies, you restart the mission.
Oh right, the whole mission.
Right, yeah.
There is no checkpointing.
It's a lasso thing.
But yeah, the thing about respawning was like in at least I think the first 2 out of the autumn, like on the Halo missions, every time you respawn, one of your weapons is a needler, and it's like, well, thanks, you've given me junk.
Yeah.
I can't actually put it to use because it doesn't work any longer.
I don't remember it like giving you a needler as the spawn weapon in the original.
I wouldn't have said it was.
I think it gave you like a plasma
pistol. Yeah.
Which is genuinely actually quite useful.
Yeah, not bad. I noticed that this is just annoying, but like maybe it's just me. But I was trying to experiment with this, like with the pistol's good, right? It's not as insane as in the original game, but it's pretty close. But I'm finding it hard to shoot the hands of the jackals, right?
Yeah, that seems harder.
Because the auto aim, like, moves the aim into the shield, so you can't hit the stupid...
I haven't really felt the auto aim. Like, yeah, okay, maybe that's... maybe that's a problem. But I have felt that like maybe the hand hole is smaller than it used to be.
And speaking of jackals,
I don't know if I think it might be auto aim because I'm pointing right at the hand, and it's just I think it's just aiming me towards the enemy and then hitting the shield.
I always thought Halo's auto aim was like a crosshair pull, but maybe it's not now. But like in the older games,
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it.
But that for some reason that's very annoying to do.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Speaking of jackals and being annoying, it's just like. I feel like they've well, this might not just be a jackal thing, but like, does the Warthog chain gun just completely suck now? Is the tickle gun, where it's like, takes fucking forever to kill anything, and particularly it takes a really long time to dislodge jackals out of their shield.
I mean, that might just be a Legendary thing.
Yeah. Sure, yes, I think it probably is, but it's so bad.
Just drive around in circles.
And they've also made it so the Warthog can explode now, which wasn't a Halo 1 thing.
Sure, but I don't necessarily think that's like an indication of the Warthog having independent health. I think that's just like an effect of your health being transmitted to the Warthog.
Maybe, I'm not so sure. Yeah, I haven't quite got a feel for that yet, but like... Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, because obviously when we've got stuck, and it's like, well, we don't have time to get out of this thing before that grenade goes off, and it just blows the whole Warthog up.
But that would kill you anyway because of the grenade.
Yeah,
regardless
you're already
of the Warthog
dead before the Warthog going, yeah.
For some reason, I had trouble driving the tank.
No, we haven't got to the tank in co-op yet, so we don't know what that's like.
I mean, the tank was always kind of funky.
Yeah, maybe it's the same. I just find it, like, once it got so it was, like, driving kind of parallel to the camera or something, it was, like, really hard to get it done, to go the right direction. I don't know. Kind of struggled with the tank a little bit. But, yeah. The hunters are...
They're the modern hunters. Yep. Yeah, and I don't... Yeah, I have beef with that. I don't think the hunters are okay. The Halo 1 hunters, the original hunters, quite a lot too easy.
Sure.
Yeah, too easy.
Quite a lot too easy. But then they overcorrected, and I don't think they've ever got it right ever since. They're just. I think they're the worst enemy in Halo by a long. Like they're the coolest in principle, in many ways, but actually just kind of the suckiest to fight against every single time. It feels like a crapshoot every time you fight against them.
Oh, it's
like
crapshoot,
their swing radius just never feels, or the damage of their swing never feels to quite match up with their animation and where they're going. Like I hate them. I think they are the bad version here. I think
yeah.
They're just not fun to fight.
You'd think that the sprinting would make it easier to flank them, but they just are pretty fast.
They've been fast for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up cheesing them and like freaking shooting them in the knee down a corridor half the time.
Sure. Yeah.
So annoying.
Like properly getting behind them to do the thing is really difficult.
To do
now.
the thing,
and then they added was it Halo 2 or 3 where they added the they can, when you get behind them, they can do the swing backwards.
Yeah, the back swing.
So even if you get back there, it's you are super vulnerable as well, and it's
So yeah, I was finding in Heroic, all my allies would just die. So it wasn't very cinematic, It's like
except for Johnson, who respawns all the time, and that kind of sucks as well.
Yeah, except for
the key characters, they're not invulnerable. They die and respawn, which is particularly weird.
And it's particularly bad because it uses the Halo respawn, which is a giant glowing ball of light that you can always see. So it makes it super obvious when it's happening.
And Captain Keyes
he does it as well.
He does as well. Yeah. Admittedly, we've only seen that in Truth and Reconciliation, and again, only in co-op. Yeah. Maybe it's a weird co-op conceit.
But also, in that mission,
that's the only level, isn't it?
In that mission originally, isn't it meant to fail when he dies? Isn't that the whole point of that mission? Is you're meant to protect him when you're coming out of the prison. It was actually really annoying because sometimes he would blow himself up with grenades and shit.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a fail state on that.
I'm pretty sure there was.
I always just thought he was invulnerable.
Maybe they fixed it. Yeah.
But they fixed it by making him respawn. Which if that was ever a thing, it's now entirely not a thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird, but it happens to both him and Johnson during that mission, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I have managed to save pretty much all of the Marines on my run through of Halo. Yeah.
What
where you go to the crash drop ships and you have to try and save the Marines hiding in various places.
You save them all.
Well, I've saved them. I've only done the first encounter of those, to be fair, but so far no one's died. So it's that I can tell.
The one in the hills is the annoying one because they added
really
jackal snipers.
That was one of the
Yeah.
Oh no, the one in the rocky bit.
Yeah, the rocky hills.
That was
the rocky one.
Pretty hard in Legendary. The hardest one for us was the big fight, right? That took us the longest. Where there's a big structure and they are camped up in a high up bit at the very back of this.
Yes, where the enemies are running up the hill to the.
Yeah.
And it's a more smooth hill.
Yeah.
And there's that one fucking tree that obscures the sight lines.
Yeah. That was really hard in Legendary. And they have pretty, as it turns out, a bit of an AI problem because they seem to have perfect vision through the tree.
Yes.
So that's kind of annoying.
And the Warthog gun.
I was worried that because I was having a bit of trouble with the Heroic up to that point, so I was like, oh god, now I'm going to do fucking the back half with all the Flood and Legendary, and the library and all that stuff. But actually, it was good.
The library's completely different.
The library is quite a lot better, frankly,
that's
than it was in the original game.
Yeah, they've reworked it, and it's thank heavens for that.
It was actually quite fun. I quite liked it with the tanks and everything. So I was like, this is much improved. And the atmosphere of the 343 level before is really nice.
I mean, generally, yeah. I'm very happy with the visuals of the thing. Generally, I think they've done. There are some places Zach and I managed to find pretty quickly. Some places where it's not quite up to par, some dodgy water graphics here and there, and there are some rough
back geometry.
Yeah, there's some rough edges here and there for sure. But generally, it's pretty nice. I managed to get myself stuck in the level at one point. Which was kind of... I went exploring.
Yes, we went to... Technically, you only got stuck because we were trying to go up against, the invisible wall, essentially.
Yeah.
And then there was a slope of geometry that was up against the invisible wall or whatever.
A bit of geometry that doesn't exist in the original game, as it turns out. And I managed to get myself stuck. But But fortunately, you can still grenade jump, so that got me out of trouble.
Nice.
Or you could have just died because it was co-op. And
I could have just killed myself. Yeah.
I mean, my problem with the visuals is that, like, I can't fucking see anything. But that's a me problem. I can't see anything anyway.
There's a lot more volumetrics going on than the original, for sure.
Yeah,
which I think looks good. I find plasma grenades much harder to see.
Yeah, they're tiny.
Much harder to see than I think any
just
previous
that sound
Halos.
Effect of them going off, and it's like, am I about to die? Oh, yes.
Yeah, like the explosion.
And it has suicide grunts weren't in the original game, were they? And they do kill me quite a bit, the suicide grunts.
Were they not?
Around the corner. No.
Oh.
I don't know.
Was that a Halo
in 2, maybe?
Was that a Halo 2 edition? Yeah, I don't remember that. I kind of thought they were always there. I mean, the thing that I think would elevate the whole experience for me is we need to find that grunt birthday party skull.
Obviously.
Oh, it's in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we haven't found it yet, but we're gotta.
I haven't found it yet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be there. It's gotta be there. That elevates the whole thing for me. The other thing I haven't figured out whether it exists or not, and maybe you know, Dan, because you finished the game, is when we've co-opted it in Master Chief Collection and stuff like that. It's like playing it with the scoring on is kind of fun. Like, not that we care about the end score particularly, but like they used to be
right.
Like it was just nice to sort of see like the medals and stuff total up and be like, oh, we did that well, or we did that stuff, and it's like, so if that's missing, that's kind of a shame.
I don't know. Maybe it gets added when you're in co-op or something. I didn't see anything like that.
I mean, it's not on in co-op, but like maybe it unlocks up. Right. There's no option to turn it on your first play. Is what I mean. Like it doesn't seem to be there. Yeah. So that kind of sucks if that's missing.
I like the added weapons. They didn't go too far. Like the assault rifle is more assault rifle-y than in the original in a good way, but then they compensate for the lack of the giant clip for popping the flood infected forms by giving you the SMG.
Right.
Which works. So that's nice. But it doesn't, I'm pleased they didn't put dual wielding in there, because that would not be Halo 1.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they'll add that in the next one. But I just like the classic 2 weapons switch between them. They just need to slightly fix the switch so that it's the same timing.
I found that they changed certain segments so you didn't really feel like you needed the flashlight anymore.
Yep, they did that. I mean, just in general, the the repetition stuff, they did their best to tone down the obvious repetition that's in the first game. Geometry, to quite good effect, I think, with the library but even in Assault on the Control Room and 2 Betrayals, it's like less.
Did you have to tweak your controls much? Because Zach and I had real problem when we first booted up the game. It was just like, this doesn't feel right. Yeah. Like how the view moves around on the right stick in particular. It's just like the way the camera moves.
What did you change?
I mean, sensitivity right up, but also acceleration down generally. Or up, was it? Yeah, no, I think we turned it up in the end because it was like we wanted it to just be at the speed we were moving rather than have an accelerative effect. It didn't, and maybe that's us being spoilt by modern games. Maybe it was Halo back in the day with how it, but yeah, we just did generally, and also don't forget, in the co-op mode is a horizontal split. Like, so everyone, like, you have ultra wide views.
Yeah, and it weirdly like fish eyes at the edges.
Yeah, the edges, the FOV is really weird, so the edges of the screen are quite fished out, and so that accentuates the effect to a certain degree. But then when I moved to single player, I didn't change anything I set up in co-op, and it like, oh no, this still feels fine. So I think like the what we changed to make it feel better was the right choice. It wasn't just FOV affected.
You changed exactly.
Yeah, I'll go figure that out. As I say, I think we turned sensitivity and acceleration up to some degree.
Yeah, and we had to change vertical and horizontal sensitivity separately as well.
Yeah, we had to make the vertical stronger than the horizontal. Like it didn't seem like if you were to just rotate the stick in a smooth motion around the circle, it would be moving horizontally more than it would be moving vertically, and that kind of felt wrong. Right. Yeah, by default.
Which, like, technically, if you weren't already used to playing it the other way in other games, technically it's better to do it like that, because obviously you don't need to look up and down as much. You need to look around on your plane more rapidly.
Yeah, I think I prefer the linearity of it, though.
I mean, that's the same as the acceleration. That's why you want the acceleration to be instant, because that's just like, we're used to that kind of instant reaction.
Yeah.
And I wonder how it would be if you were playing it on a keyboard and mouse. Like, does it have mouse acceleration? Because everyone hates mouse acceleration.
Oh, yeah, that would suck.
But it's all adjustable, right? Which is nice.
Yes, correct. You can get it to somewhere that feels good. That is true. And then, weirdly enough, the Xbox version appears to support keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Right? So there are options for keyboard and mouse in the Xbox menu, and it's like, well, okay, that's kind of cool.
And in the PlayStation,
they've done it there as well. Neat.
Yeah.
That is neat.
Yeah.
It was a bit annoying that they didn't use the traditional controller layout for when you're swapping between the presets. It doesn't just show the controller there. You've got to go through the controller presets, because we had to pick one that was more like the original Halo layout rather than the Call of Duty layout. And it's it doesn't show
the zoom on the bumper, I think, or something, or I can't remember. Or I moved the zoom. Yeah, I put the zoom on the bumper, so I had grenades on the left trigger bag.
Right. I think I've ended up playing it with the Call of Duty style to some degree anyway. But
I was the one who wanted it more like original Halo, because even though it's like, as much as I haven't played Halo, that frequently or whatever, but even though I have played them all and played several of them multiple times or whatever, as soon as I started playing it, I was instantly hitting the Halo 1 buttons.
Right,
clicking the left stick to zoom and clicking the right bumper to reload.
Just feels
I just need those controls.
Left stick to crouch, right stick to zoom. Yeah, all the classics.
I mean, if the look down sights was hold, then you'd need it to be on the trigger like Call of Duty, but it's not. It's how it was, right? Where it's a toggle.
Well, it depends. If you've got it on the trigger, it is hold to zoom. So presumably, if you've swapped it to the right stick, it is click to toggle,
and then it turns into how it should be. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
But how does it work with hold to zoom? Because the whole point was that every time you got hit, it knocked you out of the zoom.
It still knocks you out.
But then what? It zooms back in instantly as long as you're holding the trigger down.
I think I've been fluttering,
so you don't know if it doesn't.
Well, maybe. Yeah. No, I think it for the most part holds it on the weapons that don't have a full zoom. When we did the sniper rifle mission, it definitely popped me out of the sniper rifle.
Well, I mean, sure, it's meant to do it for everything.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was doing it for... It definitely wasn't doing it for the minor zoom you get with the assault rifle. I think it might do it with the pistol zoom as well. Sorry, it might not kick you out, when you're using the pistol zoom.
Oh, I thought it did.
Yeah, I'll have to double check that.
I mean, maybe you were fluttering the stick so fast it was imperceptible, it zoomed back in instantly.
Yeah, I don't think I was doing that constantly. My finger would be flipping tired. And also the controller I'm using is a bit... This is the... other than my blue Xbox controller, the one that's currently synced to my Xbox, my good Xbox Series X controller, even that's not perfect as a my triggers are a bit sticky. So you push them all the way down and there's a little delay before they pop back up when you release. So that's been kind of annoying. The other thing, there's multiple things that I think didn't make a great first impression when we fired it up. Especially in co-op. Number one, you cannot play co-op with a guest. You have to have two people logged in on the same console. If you want to play split screen in particular, you have to have
Microsoft accounts.
Yeah, you have to have Microsoft accounts, which meant Zach had to figure out which is always a problem of Zach. You had to remember how to log into his damn account, so we could log into it on my Xbox to play split screen. Which to me that's the way Halo should be done. Is split screen local. So that was a huge hassle to get up and running, and just wasn't.
And then the game
obvious.
kind of freaked out as well. It didn't know who was using what controller or whatever. We had to reboot it. Essentially,
it got stuck in a loop, basically saying, "Glacial Spoon, press A on the controller you want to do," and then Seg, press the A on the controller you want to use, and it just would not get out of that loop. So we had to reboot it. So that sucked. I don't like that the intro screen plays the full Mjolnir theme, right? Or the main Halo theme rather than just the choral pieces like the original. Minor thing, but when you're trying to deal with a problem and it's constantly going da 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 da, it's that's kind of annoying. It's no, do you give me the calm chorus back from the original? Thanks. There was no need to change that. I think it's kind of interesting that it's all the original mixes for the music, right? That's kind of an interesting choice. They didn't try and remake all of that, which is interesting. No. It would have been fascinating to see what another take on that would have, or a reorchestration of that would have sounded like, because it wasn't like fully orchestrated, right? It was all synth orchestrated for Halo 1 to an extent, other than obviously the vocals for the chorus and stuff like that. It wasn't done live.
But they did like a full orchestral one for the Halo 2 anniversary, right?
They did, yeah. It was fully redone for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been. It's a bit of a shame they didn't try and do that. No disrespect to the original sound, but it just would have been interesting. But then the music in the mix is so much I have real problems with the sound mix on this thing. Yeah, it's low in the mix. Like, it takes quite a lot of... even in solo, like, the music is quiet. In co-op, the sound mix is awful. Honestly, I think it's terrible. Like, the player weapons have no punch at all. Yeah. Like, they are so low in the mix. The player weapons are low in the mix.
Quite easy to not know that you're firing.
Yeah.
Because, like, the effects aren't as bright as they used to be, and, like, you don't hear it.
It is really weird. And I think there's, like, some odd compression going on as well, so when it's particularly busy, the sound just gets all kind of... like, it's not fuzzy, but, like... The clarity of each individual sound effect is kind of lost in busy moments in co-op, which kind of sucks. That wasn't a problem in previous games, so I don't know quite what you're doing here. But I'm happy to say, like, the player punchiness is a bit better in solo, but I think your weapon needs to be much louder. Like, I think the player weapon just doesn't feel juicy enough. In comparison to the original game. Okay, yeah, some weapons didn't feel all that juicy. The original pistol kind of had a rubbish sound effect, let's be honest, in the original Halo. Like, it's iconic in some ways, but, like, it also wasn't like a poppy bang sort of sound. It was kind of a sort of noise, but then a lot of noises were like that back then. I don't know. I feel like if they were gonna go to the effort of changing the sound effects and changing the mix, they've kind of cocked that bit up. I think enemy chatter by default is far too loud. You need to turn that down. Like, yeah, as in, like, the ambient noises of the grunts going all the time. It's like, I think those voices are far too loud in the mix. And it's even a problem in the cutscenes, right? Where, like, weapon fire seems weirdly muted compared to everything else going on. It's really odd. But yeah, given that we went into co-op first and it immediately sounded funky, it's just like, what's going on here? This is what have they done?
And the voice acting is maybe not great either, I would say.
Voice acting's fine.
It's not.
They tried, but, like, they definitely didn't succeed fully.
Changes to the cutscenes are just pointless. I don't think any of them improve anything, really.
No, I don't like that they're trying to I immediately disliked the fact that they're trying to tie it to Halo 2 with, like, Captain Keyes giving Master Chief this special pistol that wasn't, not a thing that was even in Halo 1, right? It's like, okay, I guess it kind of makes sense because we now know Miranda Keyes is a thing, that they might put that back into the game, but also, like, what? Like, I don't...
And also, it, like, messed up the whole... not really joke, but thing in that cutscene where he gives you a pistol that doesn't have ammo, and then you have to go and pick up ammo. Not that you don't walk 2 feet and then immediately pick up ammo, but...
Sure, yeah. That is kind of funny. But also, like, I'm surprised, like, even, like, Dan, you didn't mention, like, that first cutscene has an error. Like, quite a bad error as well. Like, it zooms in on a sign saying evacuation in progress, and he hasn't started the evacuation yet. Like...
There's all kinds of errors in the cutscene.
Yeah, so. It's all over the place. Like, yeah, like when they're landing when he's landing the Autumn on Halo, right? And you're in the drop pod flying over. You immediately picked up on, like, what is going on with the acceleration and deceleration of these ships here? That is weird.
Like,
it's super weird.
The Autumn goes past you, but then you're also in front of it.
But then you go past it.
Like,
yeah,
you just randomly swap positions.
But I noticed in that cutscene they're talking about, like, entering atmosphere in 5, and it's like, you're in the flipping clouds already. Like, is that not atmosphere? Like, what is... Are you just bad at your job?
I mean, apparently.
Well, yeah, they crash it, so,
The air brakes went too early.
I think they screwed up the thing in the gameplay of my personal bugbear, right? Of like, do the dropships, in this case pelicans, look actually physically correct when they're flying around?
Oh, okay, right.
And like,
not path movement.
Yeah, and I think, well, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about it, but like, first of all, like the kind of jet blast, they've made it like fiery, like it's constantly afterburning, which I never liked that. In the original, it was like a cool kind of white
glow almost
waft.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really remember.
But I guess the argument is that they're like
space
I think
rockets.
it was only after the first game you knew for sure they could definitely operate in outer space, I suppose, pelicans or whatever, but I don't know. So, but I liked the cool jet blast from the original. But it looks like in quite a lot of circumstances, and it's not a problem in the pre-rendered cutscenes, but in the game, it looks like when the things are hovering, the downward blasting rockets or jets, right, they only seem to be firing on the back and not on the front.
That's pretty weird.
Small things like that. And it's like, well, maybe I'm missing something, but it's like, first of all, I don't like that they're sort of, they've got like fiery afterburner look. And then secondly, it's like, well, they don't look like they're actually blasting downwards and holding the thing up like they did in the original. They're
also not loud enough. Again, they're also seem quieter than they used to. So that's I'm not into that either.
Because that was how you could tell when a pelican was about to come and drop a warthog, because it was going as they do when they fly in.
Which was cool. I feel like maybe I care about this because somebody on the original team obviously cared about this and wanted to make the pelicans somewhat have a kind of feel of like a physical accuracy.
And that was even before like when they got upgraded in the later Halo games, where like the wing parts would actually individually articulate.
Move around, yeah.
Rotate. Did they not rotate in the original game?
No, it was a fixed model in Halo 1.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's cool as well. Like, the
is that
in Halo 2? I don't know.
The rear engines kind of could move around as well, I think, on the Pelicans later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like the front wings and the rear kind of pods.
Yeah.
They pitched up and down independently, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look cool. Anyway, that annoyed me. It's like, it was right the first time, I thought. Anyway. Yeah, but general changes to cutscenes, not necessary. I don't think the Cortana performance was improved in any way.
No, I guess I had to re-record it subtly, but like I guess just because they had to, because they were changing some stuff. So it's like, I guess, well, we better re-record Jen Taylor. At least they got Jen Taylor back to do it, right? Always the right thing. I mean, I don't know how I mean, they kind of went for a halfway house between like the Halo 3 and Halo 4 Cortana models, right? So it's like that's a...
Yeah, I don't like them Cortana model. But it's only in the cutscenes, so it's fine.
It's only in the cutscenes.
You just skip them.
Yeah,
I know the story.
I guess they were trying to make it... it makes sense because in a way, because like the Halo 1 Cortana is so different from everything else, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes sense that they would try and change her a little bit. But they never settle on a design for Cortana, which bothers me the most. It's like, just pick one and stick to it, God. You don't have to change it every game. But it's still fun. It's still Halo.
It's really fun.
Like, even with all this, great. It's easy to make... Again, this is the classic Rob and, like, Happy Salad perspective, I guess. This is a game we've played a lot, so it's easy for us to tear apart and find the things we don't like. They do... I mean, it is absolutely true that they do such a better job at capturing what the look and feel of the game would have been had they had the technology to do it like this. Back when the original came out, compared to Anniversary Edition, right? Anniversary is...
Oh, yeah. I mean, that
Anniversary is detail for detail's sake, rather than actually thinking about the art choice.
But Halo 2 Anniversary is great.
Much better. I mean,
it's not much.
Halo 2 Anniversary is much closer to how you'd imagine it to look.
Yeah.
Did a fabulous job with that.
Decent job.
And... yeah, I think I don't know who they got to do the cutscenes this time round, but Blur Studio taking the reins on Halo 2's cutscenes, and not really changing the structure of them, but just changing the look of them and the setting of them. Like, they did, a fabulous job with Halo 2. So yeah, I don't know who they got in to do the CG for these ones, if they got anyone in to do the CGs. But yeah, pretty good Unreal usage. Apparently PC version isn't super hot though, like stutter struggle in Unreal Engine is still a problem on PC. So though you can crank up the actual fidelity to be nicer than the console versions, it's like, it does. It's not the perfect port, as you might, as is somewhat standard for Unreal these days, unfortunately. But a pretty smooth showing on console, apart from the video playback. The video playback hitches periodically, which is weird. Right? It's just playing video.
Yeah, that happens on PS5 as well. Yeah. It's really weird and annoying.
Clearly,
it's like hitching when the spaceship is smoothly moving through space.
I know.
Right at the start. It's like, what?
It's really,
Why?
It's really dumb. It's really dumb. So, yeah, not the perfect product, technically, but, like, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, a fun game, for sure. And I don't have access to other ways to play Halo right now, so it's a good... I can play it on PS5, it's good.
They never did get around to doing, like... Everyone always thought they would do Master Chief Collection on PlayStation, right? But they never got around to that.
Yeah, no.
Because they had enough trouble getting it to work on Xbox.
Sure. But they fixed it. It should be fine now, right? Should be fine now. Alrighty. That was Halo. Anything else you've been doing, Dad, or was that your...
Nah, just Red Dead, but nearly at the end of that.
Alright. Well, I've been doing some stuff. In a week. Some stuff. Mostly Zenless.
Yeah.
Zenless Zone Zero. I've been... Man, my Steam time is way higher than I anticipated.
That was what I noticed. Because I was thinking about talking, when we were going to talk about it on this podcast, I was considering the continuing saga of Rob saying he's playing the wrong game.
Yeah.
And then I was like, so how much has he played it? It's like, I guess we're way past sunk cost at this point. The cost has indeed been sunk.
Yeah. It's, quite a large amount of hours has been spent on it. And it does just... Right in this moment, it's got me. The draw is, that's what I want to go and do.
Sure.
And I've said this about a few games in the past, but this one, I really mean it. I don't really understand why I keep going back to it, because I think I mentioned this before. I really like the core combat. I like the style. I like the music's pretty good. I don't think it's quite as epically good as Endfield stuff, or anywhere near as good as that stuff. But it's, it's a decent enough beat to keep you going. Sometimes a bit JSR funky in some of the missions I've done, which is like, okay, I'm on board with this. This is cool. And I think the actual draw of like just building your characters, right? Being able to go in and be like, but make these tiny incremental changes, like even if they're just like numbers on a screen to me at this point, like make number go up is working for me right now.
Okay.
Like, or if I go do this thing, then I'll like get these discs, get the discs load out I need for this character so I can make that combat readiness warning shut up. Like
make the number go away, not go up.
Yeah, make the fact that you're calling that C rank go away. like you've got C rank drive discs, so it's like, well, I better deal with that then, hadn't I? For some reason that's appealing to me, and it's, I guess, the side effect of the free to play / gacha structure, where it's like encourages you to come back because you'll get stuff just for coming back. That works on me, apparently.
Well, and also the inherent small chunk structure is just useful for you dealing with children and whatnot.
I mean, this is the thing, like actually getting down and playing more of the main story has been the thing I've done the least of still.
Right.
Because that's where the time goes in that game, and it like locks you into doing something. So if you can't get through a particular, as I mentioned before, immersive storytelling phase, it's like you're a little bit locked out of what you can do until you get out of that phase. You can drop it at any point. The game's pretty good at remembering, like, it's crashed on me once, and it remembered exactly what I was doing at that point in time and took me back to that point, which was pretty nice. I didn't have to restart that story segment or anything like that. It picked up exactly where it crashed. So that was neat. It's just that, like, I think you mentioned it, you touched upon it last time, that what the community's major problem with Zenless is like, you're not playing the game all that much in Zenless. Like, the story missions are more visual novel than fight. The entire game is more visual novel than fight. And it's not a supremely well-written visual novel at that. Like, I guess you can boil down a lot of conversations in this game to I'm going to tell you about this thing. This is exactly what's happening. What? What do you mean? Says other character. Oh, I didn't mean it like that, says first character. I'm sorry that it caused generic emotion here. Let me explain what I just said in 3 times the amount of text once more. And that is almost every conversation in this game. It is quite frustrating after a while. Like, there is something to some elements of the story. Like, it tends, as you mentioned before, it tends to encapsulate bits of it. Like, one chapter will be about this one little mini story, and then with a hint of a bigger picture going on. And then the second story will begin sometimes randomly, but then lead into, like, be its own encapsulated thing with a hint of something attached to the main story. So it's following that pattern at the moment. So the main story is, like, next to, like, there's no progression in it almost at the point where I am at, like, which isn't very far. So you're just doing these little tidbits, but it is also serving as, like, introducing you to the wider to characters as I'm going through. Like, each chapter has a different set of characters you're talking to, which is useful because if you're trying to do, like, the game doesn't, like, really shield you from doing stuff that you shouldn't be seeing yet. Particularly, like, if you're just trying to do, like, the events or things that are happening in the world, you can go to places and go and see people and talk to people as if you've known them for years. And it's like, well, I haven't even met this character yet in the storyline, so I don't know what the hell is going on. But it doesn't shield you from any of that. Like, I did the summer event, and completed that, and it was about all of the characters I'd never met before. Clearly they were all referring to their backstories and things like that. So I had no idea what was going on. Most of the summer event was dialogue, and going through this thing. But then they do this thing, like, where, like, they've clearly put effort into some elements. Like, there's these unique gameplay things in the summer event where there's this beach combing game where you can run around with a Hoover and just, like, suck up stuff from the sand. But there's, like, mechanics to it, and, like, you can make your characters run faster if you do certain things, or there's multipliers in a fever state, blah, blah, blah. They put some effort into making this gameplay system and then use it, like, 3 times. And you're, like, done with it. And so 3 minutes total is what you need to spend on this thing. Out of this whole multi-hour, like, story element. There was one combat scenario in the summer event, which was very short. And then a second mini game on top of that, where you're sort of managing resources and to sell souvenirs at this beach stall and something like that. So they put some effort into having this other gameplay system going on. But again, you only actually have to do 3 times to see this thing through. I find it weird. I just find, like, the structure of it kind of odd. It's like, you went to the effort of making these gameplay things, and then I don't have to really engage with them all that much.
And then the community hates the mini games, and then you didn't put enough of the actual game in.
Yeah, it is a really weird layout. It's got to be said. Like, the structure of it is quite odd, and I can see why it would put a lot of people off, for sure. But
you're still playing it.
But I'm still playing it, and this is the thing I can't explain. Like, I don't necessarily understand why I'm being drawn to it, because I have so many problems with it in its structure.
Secondary question related to the sunk costness of it, but, like, do you think you're playing it enough that you're ever going to catch up to, like, the current patch?
That's a very good question. Yeah, I don't know what their patch rate is.
Well, presumably it's going to be similar to Endfiled, because they all are the same, so it's going to be like a 6-week cycle or whatever.
Yeah, I get the feeling it's like, yeah, about that. So, I mean, no, is what I'm thinking. Like, unless I can really like get like focus somehow on doing the story stuff rather than trying to do the event stuff, which maybe I'm at a position where that's somewhat okay. Like, I've somewhat done the summer event, right? So like I've got like 30 odd days perhaps I can just spend on story. Although there are more time limited events popping up throughout this season.
As they do.
So yeah, I don't know how distracted I will be on those, but
because that is the other problem from Rob playing games perspective, is like he needs to finish a game.
I'm never. Yeah,
are you ever going to finish this?
No.
To the point of like at least catching up to the current patch cycle.
I mean, I guess like there will probably be like meaningful stopping points maybe once you finish a season, as they call it, and then because they're on like season 3 now, maybe when you finish a season, like there's a somewhat a bit of conclusion.
I mean, maybe, but like because of the way these games are updated, like you might not even unless it literally tells you know where the end of the season is.
Oh yeah, no, this will explicitly tell you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like in Endfield, it's just like, the end of the chapter thing appeared for a couple of seconds, and that's it.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, no, there's a whole page dedicated
it actually
to
has its own like sum up.
Yeah, so it will very clearly indicate where you are. So yeah, I'm still doing a lot of that. Yeah, but when you do the combat, which in fairness, like there are daily like training stuff, so you might as well go into a little combat thing, do a little bit of that, then you get some stuff out of it, right? And that's your dailies. Yeah. That's what's draining your, was it sanity in Endfield? Yeah. But like, yeah, it's your battery in this.
Which makes way more sense, I guess. Well, maybe.
Kind of. Well, it's because they're all Android.
You're carrying them. Guns or whatever.
Yeah, well, they're like VR training, right? Virtual training. So like you're draining your virtual battery. I guess
your headset runs out of power.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. So yeah, it's that's the setting. But yeah, when you are doing the combat is it is kind of fun to just do. And in fairness, in like one of the story chapters, it's like the chapter was basically 4 unique boss fights, and that was its focus.
Right.
Like, and it's like, well, that's pretty cool. Like, all of these fights have been, yeah, as I say, unique. It might have been 5, actually. Yeah, 5 unique boss fights throughout this story chapter. And it's like, well, that's neat. They put effort into that. That's fun. I don't think they'll all be like that. But at least for a moment, like there was some variation, but you had to get to it. That is the problem. You have to get to that stuff. So that's endless. What else have I been doing? A little bit more blueprints. I'm still not done with that. I've made a little bit of progress. I'm in a bit of a lull of progress at the moment, where I made some significant strides and then ran out of stamina on a day in that thing. But some of the stuff I did is left in the position I left it in permanently, so now I can't get back to the point I was at unless I find another way to it. Because it's in the positions I left it on the previous day, and it's like, oh, that's really annoying, because now I can't do that. But I may have the route to the end of the game now, if I can pull it all off in a run.
Okay.
But, like, the probability of me being able to pull that off on a run at the moment seems very small. It relies on quite a lot of things coming together at once. So I'm not holding out hope for me finishing that thing just yet.
Whatever. Like, is that, you going to give up on that?
No, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up.
No, I mean, obviously.
Like, but, like, I feel like I'm near the end, but I think, like, yeah, it's going to take a reasonable amount more time just in runs at this point, not necessarily in puzzle solving particular, but just in runs. I mean, and there's a bigger mystery that I think I'm only just scratching the surface of.
Right. Does it have the ability, and would you be able to make yourself abandon runs and then just like
you can bail out of a run at any time?
Have you decided to do that much?
No.
That's the classic roguelike problem. You always like, but I can. It's like if I just get good and get lucky, I can pull this back. But then it's like maybe it's better to just not waste the time doing that and just hit abandoned run and start a new one.
But in the game's defense, like there is usually progress made every run.
Right.
Like you will learn something, or you'll have seen something.
But would giving that tiny amount of progress be worth the time you spent to do it? Where if you started a new run, you could make more progress in less time.
Maybe, but then like what you see in a run isn't necessarily guaranteed.
Well,
I guess
sure,
what is the progress you think you're making might not actually be the progress you need.
Right? Yeah, because it is a puzzle.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I mean, I have had a couple of like truly duff runs where it's just like the roguelitey bit has screwed me right over, right? And it's just like, well, I can't progress this one. Can I go check this other thing out? And you go, but then you go back and like, because there are things like outside of the house that you can kind of go and have a look at. And it's like, oh well, did I get enough to? So you go and explore those areas again, regardless of what you've done in the house. And it's like, that's where the time goes, right? Like, you just go and check things. Maybe I shouldn't be checking things so frequently, but I feel like you find stuff more often than you don't on a run. But those runs then end up taking a while. So anyway, yeah, I'm doing some more of that. The other thing I've started playing, I don't know if I talked about it last time or not, really. Probably not. I probably just missed it. I'm a little bit into Denshattack.
I think you mentioned it last time.
Did I mention it last time? Okay, yeah. No, I mentioned I was going to play it, right, because I got spoiled on the soundtrack thanks to Spotify. Yeah. And no, I haven't heard the soundtrack by the Daytona, the song by the Daytona guy yet. I suspect that might be the credit sequence.
That would make sense.
Okay.
But I mean, that game is rad as hell. Like, I love it, but like, I cannot play that in long sessions. Like, it is so fast and so frenetic and so, like in your face that it's like after about an hour, I'm like, I think I'm good. Like, it's like an arcade game. Like in that, like you wouldn't necessarily play House of the Dead for like many, many hours on end in one sitting. You might do a couple of runs and go like, yeah, okay, I'm satisfied. Like this is kind of
slightly different reason for that, though.
I guess, yeah. This is just like, I think it like is. Oh, it might actually be overload for me, which is saying a lot. Like, it takes a lot to get to me in that way, but like this might be doing it. For those that don't know, this is a oh man, how to even describe it? Like, it is a blend of a runner with Tony Hawk's like mechanics, and tricks, skateboard tricks, but you're not a skateboard, you're a train. A densha, if you will, to use the Japanese. And it's about doing the runs quickly and stylishly, collecting things along the way on the track. You're jumping to swap tracks. You are performing tricks when you're in the air. You are manualing in a train between tricks. You are grinding rails in a flipping train. It is it is madness, and I'm here for it. You can get your combo up to a certain point, and then you go in the zone, and then rainbow tracks can start appearing to give you alternate routes for a stage. Like, there's a lot going on, and you get like, there's medal targets on every level for score and speed and hitting all of the bonus objectives along the way and stuff like that. So, of which I have managed none of. Like, okay, some of the side objectives I've got, but like getting a gold medal on the levels, that seems actually really quite difficult. So there's an awful lot to like go back and retry and replay, if you're into that. And it looks like it's going to be quite a lengthy. Like, it feels like there's a lot of levels. Like, I've finished the first area, shall we say, of the game, and done a boss fight. It's got boss fights, it's. The amount of map I've cleared off is it's a smidge. Like, there might be, I'm guessing I'm about 10 to 15% of the way through this thing. So, even without going for all golds and stuff like that. So, pretty hefty chunk of content, I think, here for a mad arcade game. It's super cool, is what I'm trying to say. It's super cool, but it's hard going. You gotta go with it. But yeah, after a while, it's tiring. After a while.
Denshattack.
And it's got
grinding
music
rails in a train.
Yeah.
Don't they? What they do by definition.
I suppose, yeah, but they don't actually do grinds on the rails. I suppose unless you count a manual as a type of grind. I suppose, you don't grind the train rails, if that makes sense. They're just like individual rails, like a Tony Hawk's rail that you grind. Like to clarify,
you don't grind on the rails, right?
You don't grind the rails. You grind the rails.
Rail singular.
But they're not just like straight tracks either. You get these levels that are like exploration levels where there's like a loop of track, but there are routes through the tracks that you can do, and it becomes about building up a trick score within a certain period of time. But there's also collectibles on the track as well. So half the puzzle of those levels is trying to figure out what you need to do in order to get to the certain areas of the level in order to get the collectibles. It is a well-designed, well-thought-out thing. And it sounds awesome. The music is great. There's some stuff by an artist in there that I know who is a Jet Set Radio-like, shall we say, very heavily influenced by Jet Set Radio in their style. And you can tell because their like album art on Spotify is very Jet Set Radio adjacent. Too Mellow, they're called. So there's some of their work in here, and that's pretty good. It's got good style. I don't think it's Japanese developed, but they are leaning into the whole this is all takes place in Japan and do a pretty good job of Japanization, I suppose, of this thing.
Apart from maybe some of the voice actors, so I hear.
Yeah, I don't know. So you can like.
Do you recognise any of the voice cast that you can choose?
No,
I wouldn't have thought so.
I don't think I've only encountered I think one person speaking Japanese.
Right.
The rest of the story is told in English. At least I've got it set, but I've got the announcer set to Japanese mode. But I can't say I've really. It's also like kind of hard to like pay attention to what the announcer's saying in the middle of the mailstrom of everything else that's going on. So it's I can't say I've really noticed.
Does it have a good like whatever you call it, like a combo sound effect, like the Jet Set sound effects on the Tony Hawk sound effects?
Oh no, I don't. I don't think it really has a combo sound particularly. It has a big ass number.
Well, sure,
but yeah, I don't know. It's really, it's not doing like a bear, or like a what even would you call the Tony Hawk's noise? It's sort of a similar sort of Orch hit kind of thing, like a bear.
Yeah. Although, obviously, Tony Hawk's the one that everyone knows is the bad one, not the failing the combo, the record scratch.
Yeah, it's a cool game. There's one other thing I want to talk about, because I mentioned I went to Yarmouth.
So you went to an actual arcade?
I went to an actual arcade.
Okay.
And I played some pinball.
Oh, wow. There's a pinball in a regular arcade place?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Caesar's Palace in Yarmouth actually has like 5 tables.
And they all work?
Kinda.
Okay.
So
expected.
One of the tables wasn't working, and it's a classic. It's Williams's Funhouse.
Oh, right.
But they've modded it, so it's got like a full coloured dot matrix display and LED lights over it. So it's a cool version. Funhouse is a flipping hard table though, like to play for real though. It's a difficult ass table. And these are modern arcade. It's like £1 a play, so it's this is less appealing to me. I want to play this game, but because Funhouse is a good table, but I know it's a hard table. I'm going to lose in less than 60 seconds. And that doesn't seem like a good use of my time and money. So I played 2 tables I don't think I've played before, both by Sega. The Godzilla table, based on the Godzilla movie featuring the Professional, whose name I can never remember. You know what I mean? The French guy. The one that, anyway, that Godzilla film that Jamiroquai did a track for. Anyway,
that's one. A lot of fish.
Yes, that one.
Jean Reno.
Jean Reno, thank you. Yes, that guy. So it was based on that film. Like, I didn't really think much of that table. It's okay. like, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, it was like a lot of pinball tables. I feel like it takes you a good few goes on before you can get a feel for how to hit the shots.
Yeah.
Like on a real pinball table, hitting the ramps is so much harder than on like a virtual pinball game, right? Like, I don't know what they do in like virtual pinball to make it like easier to hit the ramps, but like
in like computerized pinball, even in the modern age, it's still like like real physics is not digital, so there's like there's an infinite gradient of possibilities of where the ball is on the flipper and how hard you push the flipper button and all that stuff.
Exactly,
whereas in digital pinball, it's like there's a limited set of possibilities.
Well, there's also a greater amount of precision required in real pinball. Like because most of the time, if like to be honest, most shots don't hit the ramps, don't hit the loops. You're going to hit one of the pointy out bits in between the ramps. Most of the time, and that's going to either slow the ball down enough that they don't make it round the shot, or that it's just going to bounce wildly off the middle in some direction and stuff like that. And I felt like the Godzilla table, I just didn't get a particularly good feel for in the games that I played on it. I played quite a few rounds of it, but like it didn't really get a feel for it. I had a much better time playing I was better at, I should say, the Space Jam. Actually, the Looney Tunes Space Jam.
Not Space Jam 2.
Not Space Jam 2, no. I mean, the table wasn't in great condition. It was on a slant, which didn't help. So there was a very noticeable, the ball is moving to the right action, which took a while to like, I was like, something's weird about this. Something that it doesn't feel right. And then it's like, oh, it's moving to the right. And it's like, as soon as I knew that, I could dial into it and it was okay. But like, it just seemed like the ball was like moving weirdly until I figured it out. But anyway, I was doing it. That is, I also don't rate this table. Like, I think it's too simple. Like, it's the other end of the spectrum. Like, there's not enough going on mechanically to keep it interesting for a long time. And it was kind of broken in some fun ways. There's a shot that you hit and it's the ball lock, but then it fires it upwards into like a chain, like a wired route above the surface.
Right.
Except what was happening is it would fire into that route, not quite get enough round it, and it would fall back into the original thing. So it would count it as you hitting that shot again.
Get multi-lock.
Yeah. So you could lock a multi-ball in one shot, which was pretty hilarious.
Is that because it was on a slant? Like, was that
maybe?
Coming out of that?
It would have been
slant.
It would have been in the right. It would have been against the slant. Yeah. So that probably did affect that shot. So that was kind of funny. It would also lose track of the so one of the things pinball tables have to do in their software is keep track of where its balls are, because obviously they've got lots of balls going under the table. It's not just the one you're playing with, right? Or the ones that. But it would lose track of where it thought they were, and so would put extra ones into the launch chute every now and then, or like. And so I go, clearly you haven't got a ball in there because you haven't shot it out the plunger yet. So we'll just put another one in there. So you'd have rounds where there were like 5 balls in play, and it's not even a multi-ball. Like it's gone a bit wrong.
Okay.
So anyway, I became grandmaster of that table. Got like the highest score on that thing because I think it was like I don't feel like I got that legitimately.
Well, no,
like it was breaking in quite some fun ways. Yeah. And I was winning a lot of bonus credits as a result as well. The match was in my favor as well for some reason, so I had quite a good stretch on this machine. So I had, despite me not being a fan of its design and its layout and stuff, I had a pretty good time with it. I did find it kind of weird that there's like, obviously like Space Jam was like Michael Jordan, right? But there was a couple of shots on the table that you hit, and it would have, I believe, either Bugs or Daffy. I couldn't quite make it out, but they would just shout MJ, and I'm like, Michael Jackson's in this game. So like, there's plenty of shots where it's just like MJ, and I'm like, shut up. Yeah, quite a weird game. And in the end, we broke it, like, properly.
More so than it was already broken.
So, like, the ball ended up... there was one other really cool shot that I should mention, actually. There's a shot where, like, it goes on a ramp, and the ball actually gets airtime to go towards a basketball hoop. And so the ball can, and it counts it if the ball like goes up through the hoop,
okay,
as opposed to, but because there's a magnet above the hoop, and the ball will like stick to the magnet and then fall into the hoop. That's how it's supposed to work,
right?
But you could just go up through the hoop, which is how it happened most of the time. But that's a pretty cool shot. Like actual air time is a cool thing, I think, on a pinball table. So yeah, what happened was our ball drained. And it basically didn't realize the ball was down there. And so the game never ended. So what normally happens when that happens is the pinball table kind of goes into, well, nothing's happened for a really long time state, and starts just pinging all the things on the table that can potentially ping the ball.
Right, yes, if it's starting.
Yeah. And it had done that once before when we were playing. Like the ball had drained and it didn't quite realize it, so it pinged everything, and eventually it jiggled enough. Something jiggled enough to get it to realize what had happened. That didn't happen this time. It didn't go into I think the ball's lost state. Like, so it wasn't pinging anything on the table either, so it wasn't jiggling itself. I was trying to jiggle the thing, and it wasn't going into tilt state. So
it's like tilted.
I guess it was already tilted. Yeah,
they turned off the tilt sensor to make it even work.
Yeah, or maybe that was it. Maybe I thought tables past a certain point, like maybe in the 90s or something, had their own internal sensors to so you could calibrate it that way rather than needing like spirit levels and stuff.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So yeah, maybe its whole tilt sensor was just broken. Anyway, we broke the thing. So I'll be champion forever though. Someone will fix it.
Well done. Nice work.
Anyway, pinball's flippin' rad.
Yeah. Flippin'. Still your dream to have a real pinball table?
The mother flipper.
Not a house, in the garage.
The mother flipper. Yeah, it is. I'm still not sure what table I would get. Probably any I could afford.
Yeah, that's that answer.
Yeah,
whatever you
What's
actually
the dream
get.
one then?
Oh, the dream is a medieval madness machine, but those are hella expensive. I mean, a TMG would be cool as well. TNG, the Star Trek table with the
Star Trek one.
Yeah,
there's got to be a few of those around.
Yeah, there's a few about. The new Star Trek table's pretty cool as well. The one they did for the films. Yeah, there's quite a few that I wouldn't mind, but there's also quite a few that I've never played, so I don't really know anything about. So it's most stuff by Williams, I'd be pretty happy with having. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's me. Pinball.
A nice physical game to round out the video game podcast.
Oh, I mean, Zach and I played a round of Deep Rock Galactic, the board game, at one point.
Yeah,
as well.
I guess we did. That was when the last podcast was broken. We did that instead.
Yeah, we did a bit of that.
We did talk about that, didn't we?
I'm not sure we did.
Oh. Well, that was what we were doing when the last podcast was delayed. No, surely we talked about that because it was the easiest run ever, and I'm sure we said that on the podcast.
Oh, we might have done. Yeah. It was a pretty easy run. We played a round of that.
Anyway, I think that's the end of this podcast. It's fucking hot in here.
It is boiling. I'm damp. I am moist, self-moistened.
Well, we can't screen record pinball or board games, but we can screen record video games. So there's some of those on our YouTube channel.
I guess we could. It would require some setup.
Check them out at our YouTube channel, Happy Salad, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks with another podcast. So we'll catch you then.
Podcast.
Bye.